Welcome into the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We're at the Bristol Motor Speedway this week, and I cannot wait. We got some half-mile short track beating and banging action coming at you live here tonight with two races, the A Open and the B Open coming at you live here tonight over the course of the next two and a half hours. I'm Austin Edstrom, standing alongside Sheldon Atkins, and Austin Derbyshire is behind the production booth as always as we get the aerial view of the Bristol Motor Speedway. Like I said, half-mile short track bull ring. Heavy banking in the corners here at Bristol. Fantastic racetrack, one of my favorite on the circuits. What about you, Sheldon?
Dude, I love this place. I don't think I've ever been able to finish a single race here, though. But, God, man, we're in for some excitement tonight. You know, the progressive banking is going to open up so many different lines for these guys to run. And with that, the funnel out coming out of the corners down to these straightaways, you're going to see so much chaos, so many people driving up into each other. And we're going to see a lot of tempers flying tonight, man. We thought we saw, you know, the worst of it last week and week before last Atlanta. It's going to be bad tonight.
And this racetrack looks like it's kind of symmetrical, but you just saw it a moment ago whenever wow, it's kind of weird how the stands do that. But anyway, we just saw it a moment ago where whenever we were looking from the side of turns 3 and 4. 3 and 4, it's a little bit more narrow. It's more of an egg shape of a racetrack here at Bristol. So the corners are just slightly different and coming out of turn number 4, like you mentioned, with multiple different lines. A lot of guys are going to be coming up and washing up into each other. Coming out of turn number 4 especially could lead to some action. Sheldon, what are your keys to the race? How do you get past that turn 4 mayhem?
Well, I mean, what I initially wanted to say was just say survive 3 times, but apparently we need a little bit more than that. So one of the things I'm going to start out with here, be prepared to run anywhere. Multi-groove track, man, you got variable banking from the top to the bottom. You can get up there against the fence. You can get all the way down to the bottom. You can run the middle. Figure out where your car is gripping best, where you're making the most time to try and move yourself forward, and be ready to go offline to be able to pass somebody, because it is pretty difficult here. Second to that, man, you got to keep your head on a swivel. I was talking about cars, you know, ending up in places they shouldn't be when you're racing side by side with somebody. You need to keep an eye on where everybody around you is, so you don't get yourself caught, hung out, and get turned. Then, last but not least, the strategy that I've always seen work the best here is stay out as long as you possibly can until you get to that point where you know you need to come in and throw on tires, because this race tends to be an attrition battle. It tends to be a bunch of cautions, a lot of chaos. You don't want to get cycled into the back of the field and get the front end ripped off. You want to try and stay out at the front as long as you can.
Track position is absolutely everything. You still don't want to put yourself on a huge tire deficit to a couple other faster guys coming up through the pack a little bit later, though. So it'll be interesting to see when people decide to come down, take those tires if we do get a string of cautions, which is likely, to be fair, at a half-mile bull ring style of racetrack here tonight. But we're going to move into our broadcast picks. Up first, myself, picking Joseph Squared. I feel like, you know, through your keys to the race, you're talking about how you wanted it to be survive. I feel like Joseph is one of those guys that just survives and is consistently up in the top 5, gives himself a chance, and I feel like that's going to prove to be very valuable here tonight.
Joseph is a good pick. I'm going to have to go with Jacob Schneider tonight in the O2 machine. I always feel like he brings a little bit something extra to the short tracks, and I feel like he's going to be really strong tonight.
And Austin Derbyshire is going to go with Nicholas Roman, so it's a Ryco lockout from the broadcast booth here tonight. Talking about what you were talking about with Schneider, last time that we were at a shorter concrete oval, it was Jacob Schneider that won the race, right? At Dover, about half a year ago, whenever we had the A Open, about 5 months ago, I'd say Dover was, maybe a little bit less, but either way, Jacob Schneider was the one that won there, so probably a pretty good pick from you, Sheldon. But looking at the GridVision weekly schedule, good bit of racing here this weekend. Thursday night, Daytona International Speedway for the high slide iRacing Truck Series. That's going to be 8:20 p.m. Eastern, back here at Bristol. On Friday night for the Ryco Performance Friday night Top Split at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday, we've got Brands Hatch for the Major Series. That's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern and last a good chunk of time. Pretty long race there for the Major Series. So that's going to be a fantastic one to watch and broadcast here on GridVision. But the cars are starting to grid up, so the qualifying session is done and dusted, and Garrett Maines is up on the pole. Only snuck out that pole by 0.02 of a second over Matt Baker. What a lap for Matt, lining up in the second place position. Jacob Schneider lining up in third with Clayton Hoffman on his outside in fourth. Johan Seminario is going to be starting in the fifth place position with Nicholas Roman in sixth. Evgeny Mozganov lining up row number 4 with Brandon Himmel on his outside. Patrick Gitter and Paul Bergoli are going to round out the top 10.
Oh, man, got my favorites starting here in 11th, Jose Acosta with Joseph Squared in 12th. 13th is going to be James Houghton, with 14th being PB Henry. Tommy Goss is going to be in 15th, followed by Jalen Handcamp in 16th. 17th is going to be Miller Bonds with Caden Dierdrich in 18th. 19th is going to be Devin Medeiros with Trevor Baxter rounding out your top 20.
Roger Pierce starting in the 21st place spot. Sean Rogers starting in 22nd. Connor Rockwood's going to be starting in 23rd. He is the last of the qualifiers. And then the last 3 drivers did not post a qualifying time. That's going to be Jeremy Bianchini in 24th, Raphael Hubie in 25th, and William Phillips. Rounding out your 26 car field here tonight. Pretty hefty field for an A Open. 26 cars all out here ready to race around. We see in the chat from a little bit earlier, the SOF is a whopping 54.82 here tonight. So pretty high SOF. Going to be a lot of points on offer for these guys out here tonight. Looking at Roman, looking at Maines, the guys really fighting for that championship. I believe Roman currently your championship leader.
Yeah, definitely a lot of points on offer, but the problem is when we got a lot of points on offer like we're seeing tonight, get a lot of egos, get a lot of tempers, a lot of short fuses, and a lot of questionable moves to go with all of it.
And obviously with this car, you know, you can take a pretty good beating and get it fixed up and not have to worry about losing too much pace. Now, the difference at Bristol is if you have a good chunk of repairs to make, 3 minutes to make, good luck getting all 3 of those minutes of repairs fixed, right? Because the pace laps here are so unbelievably short, it just barely gives you enough time to get any bit of damage repair done. So you still got to keep that thing clean and make sure that you don't get any major damage. You can get 20 seconds, 40 seconds fixed over the course of a couple cautions, but you get up to that 2-3 minute range and you're really asking for a lot.
Yeah, I remember coming from 4 laps down, taking repairs here back in about 2020 or something like that. Got back up to the lead lap, got myself up into the top 5, and boom, got knocked out with an incident. The incident count at the end with like
that's a good
35
point.
to go.
The incident points.
Yeah, that is going to be a huge problem for a handful of these guys tonight too. If it gets to be a slugfest, if we get a clean race, which is rare, this could be one of the most exciting ones of the year for us.
You never know what you're going to get whenever you come to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. And here at Bristol, we definitely have no idea. A little bit of a wild card race here tonight. Garrett Maines up on the pole. Matt Baker on his outside. And we are racing here from Bristol. Garrett Maines taking that low line, wrapping around and getting way far away from Matt Baker, who's lost the second position to Jacob Schneider. The inside line got rolling better on that initial start. 2 wide further back, just about contact through 3 and 4 for about the 20th place position, but they keep it off of each other, and we keep racing, and Garrett Maines is pulling away from Jacob Schneider.
Yeah, just settle in, man. This is what you're expecting to see for a majority of this night. Deep side-by-side racing all the way throughout the pack. A lot of comers and goers. A lot of guys going out there burning their stuff up, too. Another thing you have to watch for. You see that outside line is absolutely cooking right now, a little bit further in the back. It's that momentum you get down the straightaway.
Everybody from 1st to 7th, single file. Clayton Hoffman finding the fence out of turn number 4. That's not going to be the last time that you see somebody pounding that turn 4 wall. I imagine it's going to be just about lap after lap. You see Joseph Squared utilizing that high lane, though. The first car on the outside over in the 8th place position. But from what I'm seeing from the top 7, it looks like the bottom's going to be the tire saving line if the entirety of the top 7 is running to run a little bit lower on the racetrack.
Yeah, low line is so good. I mean, if you can get it to work right, you can be faster on that bottom throughout the run. It's just, it depends on how aggressive and how good the tires are on the guy that's on the outside line. Ooh, one up into the fence right there in 1 and 2. Can't tell which one of the Ryco cars it was. It was Joseph Squared.
He was close to it. He didn't quite get the fence, and he's making a lot of time up there right now. Typically, Joseph, the tire saver, right? The tire whisperer, I would say, but he's the one using them up right now, getting past a load of cars. He's moved himself up into the top 7 after starting in 12th. Make it 6.
I think what you're seeing right now is Joseph knows the life expectancy of people in the top 10 here as opposed to people in the top 5, and that's why he's trying to get himself up there to the front as quick as possible.
I mean, Joseph is absolutely ripping it right now. Around his teammate of Nicholas Roman and into the top 5 goes Joseph Squared. Up 7 positions from the start of this race, and we have just dropped the green flag, only 9 laps in. And he's making a lot of moves, and now he's migrated down to the bottom line. Maybe thinking, okay, let me get that track position like Sheldon said. Let me get out of the Hornet's nest and then get me back down to the bottom of the racetrack and start saving those tires.
Yeah, and then also just, you know, you want to get yourself surrounded by people you trust. Sitting right here in a pack, you know, you got Clayton Hoffman in front of you, Clayton really clean. You got 2 to 3 teammates behind you lined up. Kind of just get there in front of those guys you can trust. Get yourself a good rhythm, click off some laps, figure out how you're going to move yourself forward from here.
James Houghton right behind him doing the same thing Joseph had been doing in the early running. He's staying committed to that outside groove. Hoffman started in 13th. He's up to 6th. So him and Joseph both up 7 positions in the early going so far. And now Joseph goes back up to the top side through 1 and 2, getting a better run down the back straightaway, putting some distance between him and Houghton now as we funnel down into 3. Gossett all over the back bumper a little bit further behind. He was trying to get to the inside, I believe, of James Houghton, just could not quite do it. But he's running currently in that 7th place position. Vroman has fallen all the way back to 10th.
Yeah, but I mean, I think what Roman's doing right now is he's trying to set himself up for the long run. You see all these guys out here jockeying and charging for position. He sees a bunch of guys that, have the same stickers on the car as him right now. He knows that they're going to try and charge to get themselves up to the front. Why follow them into it? Why try to fend them off? Let them go. Try to get him with the Mark Martin strategy as we get later on the tires.
Vaughn's got around the outside of Roman. Now he's gotten around the outside of Roger Pierce. And now the next one in front of him is Brandon Himmel. Both of them go down to the bottom into turn number 3, covering off the move from Miller Bonds. So Bonds is just going to have to settle into that 9th place position for now. A little bit further back, though, Trevor Baxter still working the outside line around Roman, putting Roman back another position, back to 12th. Paul Bergoli right behind Roman in 13th. It's been a while since we've seen Paul in the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. Good to have him back.
Definitely good to see a return. Always fun to see those long-term drivers, come back out of nowhere after being gone for a little bit.
A little bit of racing further back. Jose Acosta to the outside of Devin Medeiros for the 18th place position. Medeiros on the inside, still saving a little bit, not trying to push too hard, but he's given up such a big gap in front of him that Jose said, I've got to get to your outside and get by as quick as possible. He makes short work of Medeiros there, Medeiros in the 19th place position, and now he takes 18th away from him, and he's going to try to run down Patrick Gitter up there in front.
Yeah, Jose trying to charge himself forward through the field. Everything kind of single filing out for the most part right now. As you see, as I say that, Evgeny Mozganov going to go up to the top, try to take position from the 13 machine of Jaden Handcamp. Just about to get him, and he's got him coming out turn 2. Move him up to 14th.
Most of the field still within 6.5, 7 seconds of the race lead. Just one lone driver that has lost the pack and is struggling really, really bad right now. Connor Rockwood way off the pace, 12 seconds off. You can actually see Garrett Maines down the front straightaway as he comes down into turn number 1 there. So Garrett Maines is starting to reel in. Rockwood going to be the first car to go a lap down if we don't get a caution. See a little bit of scuffing on the right front fender of Rockwood. He's been running that top side of the racetrack, but he looks that car looks very evil right now.
If you want a good laugh, get a close-up on Connor Rockwood's rear bumper cover. Nice little letter back there for anybody following him. That's a devastating feeling, though, to be that far off pace here in Bristol, because you get lapped so fast, and once you get lapped the first time, it just feels like the rest of the race you're just letting guys fly by you.
3 Ryco cars racing hard for the 3rd place position. Gossett's gotten up to that 3rd place spot. He's trying to find a way past Schneider. Not able to do it just yet. Schneider doing a good job hanging on to 2nd. Garrett Maines has pulled himself out to a 1-second lead. Currently, it's Schneider, Gossett, Houghton, who has moved all the way up into the top 4 from 13th. And Gossett, he's flown up from 15th all the way to 3rd.
Yeah, Tommy really stretching his legs in that Ryco machine tonight. You see him dive down to the inside of Schneider now. Schneider blocked him about a lap ago, came up to the top, took his line. Tommy not really able to find a way to get by him right now, though, because, these guys are kind of equal on pace. I'm wondering if Tommy's getting to the point where he might have burned that stuff up just a little too much. He's getting a good charge here coming out of turn 2, though.
Ooh, and he looks down to the inside of Schneider, down into turn number 3. Schneider's going to have the run coming off of the corner. A little bit tighter corner there through 3 and 4. You really want to have the outside line through that corner, be able to defend. And if you can get to the right rear quarter panel trying to make the move into turn 3, you've just about got the move completed. That outside line just seems to be a little bit better whenever you're side by side. I think the inside is marginally faster whenever you're single file, but as soon as you put a car in between the inside line and the wall, it becomes so much more difficult to pass. Schneider closes off the move from Gossett. Gossett's going to throw it in deep into turn 3, trying to get that outside groove, trying to rip it around Schneider for the 2nd place spot, and he's there. He has got the spot. Can he get it done?
I think he's going to be able to. You see him kind of come down to pinch a little bit on Schneider coming out of turn 2. He's going to get the run done halfway through the straightaway. Move Gossett up to P2. Let's see if he can do anything with Maines.
Home track here for Tommy Gossett, Tennessee boy, running up into the 2nd place position after qualifying 15th. Heck of a start there for the number 80 Ryco machine, moving through this field like everybody else is standing still.
Yeah, he's got something figured out here right now. You see him kind of closing a little bit on your race leader, Garrett Maines. Not a whole lot, but a little bit. You see that car getting a little bit bigger in the front window.
Look, all Gossett needs to make this strategy work, because I gotta say, he's definitely hurting his tires more than the guys behind him. But say we get to lap 50 or 60 before the yellow flag comes out, he's not going to drop to 6th or 7th by that time, right? He's going to be 2nd, 3rd, 4th, if not in the lead, if he can continue this pace for the next couple of laps. And then if the yellow flag comes out, you might see a lot of guys come down pit road and take that first set of tires. And, well, any damage that you would have had for a long run gets completely mitigated in a drop of a hat.
Also, if, for the first time in iRacing history, we happen to get green flag pit stops, this is a massive net gain for Tommy. Because he isn't going to fall too far back if those tires do let go. You know, about 5th, 6th spot, something like that. This is the furthest I see him going back by the time we get to the end of this run.
He's moving right now, man. Holy cow.
So much time. And look at him, just 3/10 back from your race leader, Garrett Maines now.
Imagine if he knew how to qualify. Holy cow, Tommy. Where did the speed come from?
Well, there we go. We had to find some kind of way to pick on Tommy.
I mean, look, I'm buddies, or, you know, I used to be in a league with a guy. We were good buddies back then. Still snapping about Nashville soccer every now and again. So I like seeing Tommy running well.
He was over at One Sim for a bit.
That's true. That's true. Tommy really putting his money where the mouth, putting his money where his mouth is right now, up in the 2nd place spot. Like I said, moving up from 15th. I do think he's going to need that yellow at some point, though, because that gap is starting to stabilize between him and Garrett. So either Garrett's starting to push a little bit harder, or the tires are starting to wear out a little bit for that number 80.
It might just be a little bit of column A, a little bit of column B, but regardless, nonetheless, impressive drive out of Tommy. We look a little further back in the pack. Everything's kind of tamed down for now. I mean, this is impressive. This is the longest green run I think I've ever seen at this place.
It's not very often that you get a long one here.
And I've been here almost 10 years.
You know, you're talking about, or we were both talking about how far we think Tommy will fall from pushing his tires too far. We don't think it's going to be worse than 5th, 6th, 7th, maybe. I'm interested to see how much time Nicholas Roman can pick up if this thing continues to run green, right? Because he has dropped all the way to 15th as PB Henry goes around his outside. It looks bad right now, but if this thing continues to go green for the rest of this thing, Roman's going to be the one in the catbird seat.
Yeah, expect Roman to be just flying through here, picking these guys off as his tires start to fade. But it looks like the tire wear is not as substantial as it used to be. It used to be you'd fall off the cliff here after about 40 laps of pure charge, and right now these guys are all still kind of staying relative.
Yeah, and Houghton, who's also come from the back of the pack, qualified in the 13th place spot. He's moved up to 3rd, and he's running down Tommy Gossett now for that 2nd place spot. So a couple guys that started further back just didn't quite have the qualifying pace, but they definitely got the race pace in the early going.
Yeah. Houghton was one that was charging really hard too at the start of this thing too, right behind Tommy. You see Houghton going to dive down to the bottom, try to get a look on the inside of Tommy. Not going to be able to get anything to materialize just yet. He's going to want to end up putting that thing where Tommy's at right now. This right here, this is going to be a huge corner for Houghton. He's going to go to the top. He's going to get a really good launch down this front straightaway and probably get up to the back of Tommy going into 1. And there it is, down to the bottom.
He got just enough of an overlap. It's tight between the two teammates coming out of 2. Houghton's just going to have to give the spot. Tommy pinched him just a little bit. And it's going to get harder and harder and harder as the run goes by to get that move done on the bottom side of the racetrack.
Ooh, I think the fence.
I think it just becomes so difficult as the tires start to wear. Gossett now on the outside of the racetrack. Houghton getting loose, having to give up the spot again, but he's still got the overlap on the number 80. Still has the bottom through 3 and 4. But this is where the bottom's even harder to keep up with the top whenever you're side by side, and he's just going to have to concede the position again. But these two battling has allowed Garrett Maines to get back away and has allowed Jacob Schneider to pull up to the back bumper for 3rd.
Yeah, this is going to be a good look for Schneider right now. And Tommy's doing what he's supposed to, like he's supposed to do right now. Like, you know, a lot of people be like, oh, man, he's racing too hard. Nah, that's the point. They're out here racing. Get up there on the top, try to pinch him a little bit, get him to burn his stuff up on the bottom and get him to fall back, because you know that he's charged just as hard as you have to get to where he's at. And he's just got, you know, the advantage of just a little bit more tire. The more you run him down there, the more he tries to make that move to get to the inside and pass you, the more he's going to wear that stuff out. And low, close, Tommy gets loose. Big save.
Houghton really pushed up through the center of 1 and 2 and tried the old double diamond kind of line, I suppose, through the corner, and he pulled it off the top pretty well. But Tommy got really, really loose, maybe a little spooked with Houghton coming so far up the racetrack. But nonetheless, Houghton up to 2nd. And that is going to drop Tommy back to 6, as he's just going to have to fall back in line and nurse those tires.
Yeah, that's a good learning moment for Tommy, too, though. He knows how hard he can push these things and how long that will last. If we get a late race caution, with 60 or so to go, that could be race-changing bit of knowledge for Tommy. Right
Top 5 currently: Garrett Maines, James Houghton, Jacob Schneider, Joseph Squared, Matt Baker, Tommy Gossett running in 6, Roger Pierce in 7th, and then a little bit further back we've got Brandon Himmel and Miller Bonds fighting for position. That's going to be for the 8th place spot. We've got about 4 cars battling for the 8th place position currently, as Trevor Baxter and Clayton Hoffman are not too far off.
Look at Schneider now, though. The one that was saving his tires. All over the back end of Houghton. Just a couple car lengths back. Another handful of laps, I can see that time dropping quicker and quicker. I think Schneider's going to be able to find a good charge here and give himself up a second.
Schneider making moves now that the tires have started to wear out for a couple of the guys that really charged hard through the field. A little bit further back, Bonds is under pressure. That's Clayton Hoffman down to the inside, washing up the racetrack, trying to use as much of it as possible so he can get a good straight exit and take the position. He's going to do that. Move himself up into the 9th place spot. Now Nicholas Roman, he dropped all the way back to 15th, and look at him charging through like it's absolutely nothing up to 10th.
Yeah, if Roman just took a nap for the first quarter of this thing, it's going to be paying off for him here. These short tracks, man, it's hard to burn the tires completely off, but once you do, you just fall like a rock. Here in Martinsville especially.
Roman now up to 9th. Gonna have to pay attention to that gap between him and the race leader. Roman, before he made that pass for 9th, was 7.75 off of the race leader. Now he's 6.65, even after making a pass, and he's about to make another one on Brandon Himmel here, down to the inside of 3 and 4. The 95 has just saved the tires so well that he can make any line on the racetrack work. Contact further back. Somebody found the fence out of turn number 4, but Nicholas Roman is finding P8 as Garrett Maines is starting to find himself in lap traffic.
That's not where you want to be right now. Lap traffic at Bristol is one of the most terrifying experiences on the service. See him, he's going to get around the 20 machine perfectly clean.
He's cleared a good chunk of them now. He is lapped all the way up to 22nd. Everybody 22nd on back is now been put a lap down, and Garrett is just going to continue his march through the back half of this field. As we're looking at him trying to put yet another driver a lap down. That's going to be Jeremy Bianchini right in front of him currently.
Yeah, Jeremy going to give him the spot, going to let him go up to the top, back it down. Smart move out of the 22 machine. Real courteous. Tip of the hat to that. Maine's pulling off to sizable advantage right now, though. 2 seconds ahead. For the most part, clean real estate in front of him. Just a couple spread apart lap cars in front of him for the time being. He's going to be able to grow a nice advantage over Schneider right now, depending on how hard Schneider gets stuck up in this traffic.
We're about a third of the way through here for the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. So we're going to go ahead and go to our first commercial break of the racing action. Whenever we come back, well, we're still a good ways away from green flag pit stops, but maybe we'll get there at some point here today. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. Watching Tommy Gossett and Matt Baker going at it for the 6th place position. I feel like this is as good of a time as any, as we've got 7 Ryco cars running in the top 7, and 2 of them fighting for 6. To talk a little bit to you about Ryco Performance, because at Ryco Performance, we're more than a setup shop. We are a performance provider, preparing you weekly with data and setups to get you ahead of the curve of the competition. Whether you're a seasoned sim racer or a weekend warrior, our cutting-edge data packs and one-on-one coaching sessions are tailor-made to push the limits of yourself and your virtual race car, giving you the winning edge that you crave. Why should you choose Ryco? Well, we have expert craftsmanship by a team of seasoned builders, cutting-edge performance enhancements tailored to your vehicle, and unrivaled coaching and reliability to handle the most demanding circuits on the iRacing platform. For more information, visit us at Ryco-motorsports.com, where we build champions and deliver results. Big thank you to Ryco Performance for sponsoring us here on Monday and Friday night all year long, allowing us to put on these great broadcasts with these great races as Tommy Gossett finds the fence a little bit, trying to get past the black cars. Jose Acosta, Matt Baker make a little bit of contact. Baker coming off the fence ever so slightly, getting into the door of Acosta. Good save from Jose. And now Tommy Gossett, oh man, close between Bergoli and Baker. The lap traffic is tough to get through for these guys here at this very, very short racetrack.
Oh man, what a huge mess. And look who's in the catbird seat on this deal now. Clayton Hoffman getting through the lap traffic a little bit cleaner. These guys getting bottled up with, a bunch of guys that are still racing while Gossett's racing Baker. He's going to put Hoffman in a really good position to pick up 2 spots here if these two get a little more aggressive.
Acosta and Hoffman make a little bit of contact. Hoffman just barely gets away with it. Thought he was going around coming off of turn number 2. Bergoli finds the fence out of turn 4. Now Seminario and Hoffman are fighting here for the 8th place spot. Matt Baker is kind of scooted away from these guys ever so slightly. Tommy Gossett almost loses it down the back straightaway and somehow saves it. Matt Baker into the fence through 3 and 4. I think the tires are starting to finally wear.
I can tell you the numbers are starting to wear. I don't think Baker and Gossett are friends right now.
Ooh, Garrett Main's going middle 3 wide on a couple lap cars. He gets by both of them, but I gotta say, Roman had been catching him, but I think Roman might have had a bit of an issue a couple laps ago as well. Roman's car is just about destroyed. Something huge has happened to Nicholas Roman.
You hate to see that.
He's coming out of turn 2 on lap number 86. Oh, he got under a lap car. The lap car of Caden Dieterich. Lap 86 coming out of 2. We caught it just a little bit late there, but we'll rewind it and give you guys a look. Dieterich got loose, coming out of the corner, came down and fishtailed into Roman and just absolutely destroyed the 95.
That's one of the biggest problems here, man. It's, oh, God, what a hit.
Going to do a little hard rewind to make sure that we can get the entire wreck.
We got a
the
yellow
caution flag has just flown, so we're going to show the replay of that here in a moment. But yeah, Dieterich trying to look to the middle, got loose, fishtailed into the 95, and put Roman into the fence after he had done such a good job working his way back through the field. He was actually cutting the deficit to the leader. Good luck doing that with a destroyed front end now.
Huge tail slap, round she goes. Also, Tommy gets sideways here. Just got into the back of a lapper and it bounced him off.
Did he get into the back of the lapper and then Matt Baker got into the back of him?
Yeah.
And that's what sent him around?
See it from the aerial, the old Goodyear blimp here.
Obviously a little loose from Gossett coming out of 2 and then into 3. The 22 finds the fence, checks up, and obviously that slows down to 80 whenever they make the bumper contact. And, well, Matt Baker just had nowhere to go. It's just impossible to check up in time whenever somebody gets into the fence in front of you, and then Gossett has to slow down for it. A little bit of a Constantine effect, and unfortunately, Tommy's the one that caught the worst end of that, and I do believe that has put him a lap down. He lost a lap trying to get that thing righted.
Rough break for Tommy. But also at the same time, man, like I feel like with the way that Tommy hit the 22 machine going in there, I feel like regardless of if Baker was there or not, Tommy was probably going to go around. Because it's just how much it unloads the car when you get into the back of somebody on the right front. I've been on the receiving end of that a couple times, and it's never fun.
Obviously, as we were starting to get through some lap traffic, it made it a lot more difficult for a lot of our leaders to kind of run the way that they wanted to, and kind of created some mayhem for a few of our front runners, specifically Nicholas Froman, Tommy Gossett, both getting the short end of the stick due to some lap traffic. But now most everybody coming down pit road, as we are over halfway in this thing. Got to come down, take tires at this point. Even if you're a lap down, it's not worth it staying out and taking that wave around with your tires just absolutely destroyed. So a lot of guys just having to stay content with being a lap down at this point. Garrett Maines, Jacob Schneider, your top two. Looks like Vroman stayed in pit road for a good chunk of time longer, trying to get some damage fixed. But again, there's just not enough time to completely fix the thing. So he's still going out with a destroyed front end.
I bet he's going to be speeding as much as he can on pit road to get as much of a fix as he can, though.
Appreciate you, Brandon, up in chat as well. Thank you for showing up week in, week out and supporting us here on GridVision. We thank you big time.
So I'm wondering, man, I think we're going to have ourselves a little cautions breed cautions here.
Is it too early for cautions breed cautions, or are there so many cars a lap down that are going to be fighting for the lucky dog spot that one of the lucky dogs are going to wreck?
Oh, I don't know, man. It's never too early for cautions breed cautions at Bristol.
That's a fair point. That's a good point. That's a good point. That is a good point, man. There is definitely never too early for cautions breed cautions here. There's only so much you can ask for at Bristol. And honestly, a 95 or a 90 lap green flag run, that's more than I could have ever asked for.
Yeah, man, I cannot believe that they made it as far as they did. First caution of the night, over halfway into this thing. These guys have done a good job of taking care of each other, but the problem is, like, are they going to continue to do so? Which, law of averages on iRacing, I don't know.
Well, we are coming back to the green flag. The iRacing pace car has pulled off already. Garrett Maines up in the lead. Now he controls this restart through the restart zone and back to the gas. We are racing once again here at Bristol, side by side for second. James Houghton gets to the inside of Schneider. We saw that Houghton was not too keen on saving tires last run, while Schneider was a big time tire saver. Are we going to see something similar here, or is Schneider going to try to hang on to that second place spot?
Move him up there for now. I mean, he did a really good job holding on to the second spot, that first run for majority of it. Had a lot of pace there at the end of it, too, before we got that caution. But side by side further in the back, though, you see Johan Seminario on the outside of Matt Baker. Matt Baker into the fence down the front straightaway.
Baker and Seminario still side by side, coming down the back, down into turn number 3. Baker able to take the position, and now Seminario stuck side by side with PB Henry. Brandon Himmel on the outside. He's going to take that spot easily as well. It just seems like that outside line flows so well on these restarts with the new tires. You just have so much grip. Somebody just about lost it further back out of turn number 2, caused a huge stack up for the last 3 cars or so. But everybody's staying straight. We're staying under green, and the lap down battle currently, it's Roger Pierce leading the way, looking for the lucky dog. The next car in line for him is going to be Miller Bonds, but he's really a couple cars back trying to get past PB Henry.
Yeah, Baker's still on the bottom wheel as they come down to 1 and 2. A little bit of a tight battle. The 18 machine staying up there on the top, fighting back strong, though. Move him up in front. A bit further back, we see Hoffman on the inside of the 10 machine.
Hoffman trying to get around. Top 10.
Baker sideways into 1.
Matt Baker, what a save! Did he hit the inside wall? Maybe a little bit of left front damage? I can't quite tell, but that was ridiculous. I can't believe he held on to that thing.
I think he missed it. We are looking for the Goodyear blimp again. Oh, the GridVision.
Oh, he just squeezed Roman ever so slightly. Oh, did get a little tap.
It.
No, he got a little tap.
Oh,
He's got some damage. He's got some damage to the left front.
I swear it looked like he just barely skirted it, but
the tiniest crinkle I've ever seen, but he's got some damage.
Dude, to be that sideways on the front straightaway at Bristol and to walk away with just a little crinkle, man, I'd take it.
Nicholas Roman working his way up through the field with that destroyed race car, trying to pick up a couple positions, not really doing the same tire saving stuff we saw earlier. I think that Roman's kind of got to be on full push now with the damage, right? You don't want to give up too much track position. You got to be thinking, okay, if this thing runs 30, 40, 50 laps, at least we can come down pit road and take tires, and I'll have the track position this time. So he's worked himself up to 6 after starting in the back here on this restart.
Shades of classic Bristol, though. See an absolutely destroyed car running in the top 10. Possibly able to move his way forward, too, depending on how this thing shakes out. Tommy Gossett back on the recovery right now, ripping the top line. I think he's still scored a lap. Yeah, 1 lap down in 16th. Trying to get himself
1 lap down.
Trying to get himself in position to get back on that lead lap if we get another caution.
Currently, it's Caden Dieterich that has that lucky dog position. Roger Pierce has lost out in the battle with him for the 14th place spot. And Dieterich is putting a car in between them currently. Johan getting squeezed in between the 2 lucky dog candidates, but Pierce is going to go to the outside to try to at least keep Caden within reach. Pierce has got to be able to find a way by soon. Instead, he finds a fence out of 4.
Little Ross Chastain maneuver there. Hell, Mellon never hurt anybody.
Ooh, Dieterich. Well, it hurt Hamlin. I wouldn't say never hurt anybody, but Pierce and Dieterich are side by side for the lucky dog spot, even coming out of turn 4. And then down into 1 and 2, Pierce just trying to wrap the bottom side of the racetrack, keep the momentum, but Caden's just got the better grip on the outside, the better momentum. He's going to hang on to the spot for now, just hoping and praying for a caution.
I was to say, man, move Roman up to 5th spot. He took the spot from the 18 machine about a lap ago, and he is moving forward now. Still sticking down to that bottom line, trying to save a little bit of tire, looking good, regardless of how cheesy the nose end on that thing is.
And this run a little bit different than the last. Maines has not been able to get away from Schneider. Jacob Schneider still running in 2nd, Houghton in 3rd, but Schneider's only 0.2 of a second off of the back bumper of Garrett Maines, and through 3 and 4, running a lower line, able to actually close up to the back bumper of his teammate, and then through 1 and 2, diving it in just a little bit more narrow into the corner, and keeping it pretty consistent off. He's challenging Garrett Maines for the race lead right now, coming out of turn 4.
Schneider down to the bottom, methodically working his way closer to Maines here. Every corner by corner, he's just getting a little bit closer. Trying to get down to the quarter pound so he can set up a pass and hopefully get by that 12 machine. And man, if he beats Maines here at Bristol, are we going to start calling him the Concrete King after
Oh,
Dover?
absolutely. Absolutely. If he wins at Dover and here, which, you know, we did say at Dover that, you know, he ran great, right? He ran the top 3 all night, but he got fortunate with the cautions at the end and then stayed out, and then they wrecked on the restart with only the one green-white checker. But a win's a win, and well, if you back it up with a win at Bristol, you can't really call it a fluke, and he is trying to get that lead away from Maines.
He just about had him. Coming out of 3 and 4 the last lap. Maines getting a little bit better run in 1 and 2. No, but now Schneider's stuck on the bottom with the 41 machine to his outside.
PB Henry just went around. No caution came out. Looks like he's got heavy damage to the left front, so he must have hit that inside wall, but was off the racetrack while he was sideways, so no yellow ended up coming out. I think it had to do with the lucky dog battle, as PB was a little upset. Somebody was spinning further back at the start of that replay. Not quite sure who that was, but Henry came off the bottom, kind of twitched into the car on the outside who he thought was going to be closer to the fence, and, well, just ran out of racetrack. This is Matt Baker going around again, it looks like, behind PB Henry right beforehand. Coming out, oh, man, big loose moment coming out of 2. But, man, that's twice now that he should have absolutely obliterated the inside wall and has gotten away with 1 scuff and 1 no-hit.
You gotta be wondering, too, if that snap that he had there was related to that big slide he had a little bit ago.
Now it's Houghton that's hounding for 2nd. He got around the outside of Schneider, like you mentioned. Schneider tried to make the move on Maines, and it opened up the door for Houghton. Schneider's now falling back after burning up those tires a little bit, but now it's Houghton who is mounting a hard charge on Garrett Maines, and he's being a little bit more feisty than Schneider was, sticking it down to the inside through 1 and 2. James Houghton is there.
Not quite enough to get it done, though, as he slides back in a little bit further behind Maines. Maines getting good run. Maines is just committed to that top line now, knowing that he's kind of sawed those tires off. Going to the bottom's going to hurt him if he tries to stick it down there. Just trying to maintain while fending off the charges from these two hungry drivers behind him. And here's the thing. I don't think Maines has had the opportunity to save anything this run because he's been under pressure since the green flag has dropped.
Yeah, but the two guys behind him haven't been saving either, and they've been in the dirty air, right? Maines has been in the clean air, so even if you push a little bit harder, you can afford to do that. It's not going to wear out the tires as bad.
Tell you what, good looks for Joseph Squared back there in fourth, though. These guys keep sawing those things off.
If this thing runs green, Joseph might be in a decent spot. And you got to think, this place is so hard to pass at, especially the leader with the clean air whenever he's got the top side of the racetrack. So you almost have to be patient and wait for the leader to get into lap traffic before you make your move. You don't want to burn up your tires too quick. You kind of want to hope that they get into that lap traffic and give yourself an opportunity once you get there.
Oh, man, I'd just be hitting Garrett with the Sean Conklin Express myself.
Give him the old conk up the racetrack.
Oh, I'd conk him right up in the fence.
Oh, man, the conky and the donkey.
He'd get donked, brother. Flat out. Sorry, Garrett. I know we'll be interviewing you later.
Well, you say that. You never know. He could get wrecked out going through lap cars. We've seen it a couple times for a few of the front runners so far here tonight. Just takes one mistake out of a lap car whenever you're going by him, and that can ruin your race. Roman, though, continuing to try to make moves past a lap car. He's gotten himself up to fifth and hasn't lost touch with the top four too much. He's only half a second off.
Tommy, and he's getting slammed at the racetrack a little bit there.
That was for the lucky dog spot. My bad. Tommy
Yes,
Gossett taking the lucky dog position. Now he's the one hoping and praying for a caution. My mistake. I could have sworn that was Roman, but Gossett making his way back through after, like I said, getting involved with a lap car earlier. Just one mistake. Lap car getting in the fence right in front of him. Nowhere for Tommy to go. And then gets run over from behind. He's put himself at least into position where he can get the lucky dog and give himself a shot at getting back into the top 10 by the end of this thing.
A little bit further back, you see Johan Seminario on the inside of Clayton Hoffman. This is a battle for 8th right now. Hoffman gonna give him the spot. 56 machine gonna move himself a little bit further up. 3 wide going into turn 1.
Ooh. Close between these three coming down into the corner. They get it sorted out as they come out of turn number 2. 3 wide going in, single filed out, coming out of the corner, but still a fight going on as the 10 is hanging on from Miller Bonds. Not racing for position currently. But Garrett Maines, he's coming up on lap traffic. Before he gets there, we're going to take our last commercial break of the A Open. When we come back, we got the finish.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head to head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. We've just about got 27, coming to 26 laps to go here in the A Open. Garrett Main starting to put cars a lap down. James Houghton has not let him get too far away, though. Only a second between the two. So if Mains runs into any trouble with lap traffic, and there's a lot of it right in front of him, then Houghton could be there to pounce. As we're looking at a replay that happened under the commercial break. The 24 somehow does not completely jump the field and somehow didn't bring out a caution, even though he's going 5 miles an hour on the bottom side of the racetrack. So lucky for a couple other guys. The 38 was slow on the apron as well, and I believe he parked it down on the bottom of 3 and 4. But no yellow. I'm surprised about the first one. He was on the racetrack. Very shocked. Contact in front of the race leader, Garrett Mains, having to get through a couple lap cars here. And some problems behind. Oh my goodness, big wiggle. We're still going to stay green, but I'm thinking we're not going to be staying green for too much longer.
If you're Garrett, you're full code brown at this moment. These guys just knocking out the fence about dead sideways all around him. Oh, one hard into the fence in front of him. One of his teammates couldn't make out the number on it.
Miller Bonds found the wall, and he's got 2 battles of side-by-side with a couple lap cars. Garrett Mains is going to have to work his way by. This could give up a chunk of time to Schneider, who is now the new second-place car.
Yeah, when he cut through this pack earlier, we saw how difficult.
Oh, right in front of him! Miller Bonds and Jose Acosta go around down the back straightaway. Acosta finds the outside wall and stops it on the racing groove, and the yellow flag is going to fly. Coming through 1 and 2 here with Garrett Mains right behind him. Bonds just got loose on the top side of the racetrack and came down. Acosta really nowhere to go. Then gets turned back up across the racetrack. Really not much you can do there besides lock it down. Honestly, he did a good job allowing everybody to get back by. Everybody did a good job getting by without making contact. Really close with a couple of those cars coming through. That could have been a lot worse. Could have been a lot worse.
Yeah, it could have been a decent percentage of the field there on board with Acosta. Just nowhere. Running out of real estate in the car up top, you expect them to go up against the wall, and when they don't go up against the wall, you're pretty much along for the ride after that.
Yeah, and it's one thing if they stop the momentum up towards the wall and just run half a lane off, right? You kind of have to expect that a little bit, but whenever they are coming off the wall, they're visually coming down the racetrack. It's a totally different story there. Bonds just got loose, came down the racetrack, and Jose had nowhere to go.
Yeah, this place, you don't have time to really figure out a little bit of frustration between the 98 machine of Baker and the 22. Hard contact here under yellow.
You hit me under yellow.
No, are we going to get around 2? Nah.
Shades of Brad Keselowski, Matt Kenseth at Charlotte.
Somebody's about to get jumped in between the haulers.
You hit me under yellow.
I swear, man, I still don't know where Matt Kenseth came from on that deal.
That looked like it was straight out of a reality TV show.
Like, he just had radar. He knew where Brad was. Just knew it. He could smell him.
I can smell you from here.
Yeah. So, it's been a rough one today, all right? We'll talk about it.
So it looks like Trevor Baxter stayed out on the racetrack, and he's going to inherit the race lead here with probably 15 or 16 laps to go on the restart.
Max?
Interesting
we haven't talked
move.
about a whole lot tonight. See how he does with the track position, but with them worn out tires, man, I mean, we're at that point, right? We got 15 laps to go here at Bristol. We got a caution. Got guys staying out on our tires. Is this where the gloves come off?
Well, that's a good point, right? You said earlier, is this where the cautions breed cautions? And I was like, it might be a little bit too early. But now, coming to 15 to go on the restart, this is where I could definitely see it picking up. And I can see at least the thought process from Trevor here on this move. He had a fast enough race car to stay on the lead lap with Main slapping everybody up to 14th. And Tommy Gossett got the lucky dog there, by the way. But for Baxter, he has decent enough pace to where maybe you can hold the lead for 2 laps on a restart and then hope for a caution and then hope for the same thing to happen and then hope for the same thing to happen.
98 machine of Baker's going to get the lucky dog here.
Are you sure it's Baker? Tommy Gossett's on the lead lap. Oh, Tommy got the wave around. Excuse me. My bad. Matt Baker with the lucky dog. Jacob Schneider, I believe, got a speeding penalty. He's back to 11th.
Back to the strategy on the 19 of Baxter. Sorry, the 10 visually. Sometimes those 2 laps at Bristol is all you need, especially this late.
We'll have to wait and see. Trevor Baxter first to the gas. And we are racing once again. 15 laps to go from Bristol. Can Trevor Baxter hang on? Oh, well, it's not even going to be 2 laps. It's not even going to be 2 corners. Garrett Maines rips it around the outside and takes that race lead away immediately. James Houghton following him through. There goes Joseph Squared with Roman right on his tail in 4th.
Man, Baxter from 0 to 0 and no time flat. Just how big of a clip these tires fall off at the end of a run. We did a long stint there, and he's just going to keep cycling himself to the back here before this thing's over. Oh, a little bit of contact with him at the 13.
13 now sticking it middle 3, tight between them all coming out of turn number 2, but they get it sorted out. So Baxter on the old tires is now kind of in free fall mode. Garrett Maines, though, up in the race lead. Houghton, who is remarkably quick on the short run, he's not going to have any lap traffic to help him out, but can he get up to Garrett Maines and give him a run for his money here as we come to 11 laps to go? Or we're going to get a yellow flag, which is not surprising because we did say cautions breed cautions. Oh, Patrick Gitter.
No, man. That's a lot of damage on the right front of that thing.
That's a lot of damage. Oh, just lost it. And honestly did a good job saving it, but unfortunately there was just a long line of cars right behind him. And, well, there's just nowhere to go here. Absolutely nowhere to go here if somebody's, wow. Somebody's 30 mile an hour off the pace down the front stretch. There's just about nothing you can do.
Apparently the last car on the straightaway wanted to be a part of the wreck too. Seemed to just get loose there.
Who was it?
And,
Who could break the hell out of him?
We'll give him the benefit of the doubt. He's been gone for a while.
Bergoli, come on, buddy.
Yeah, it's been 4 months. We'll give Bergoli the benefit of the doubt this time.
That's fair. That's fair. We'll give Bergoli the benefit of the doubt. And he had somebody right in front of him, right? Your vision can get blocked. But, man, Garrett was stopped up there for a hot minute.
The guys that were behind him after he made the initial contact, man, you see he's not doing too well. Don't stay in it.
Well, the yellow's been taking a long time to come out here, too. So the yellow flag might not have flown until a little bit later. So maybe you don't see the yellow. Oh, you don't see it.
You gotta look out the window. You can't just rely on the yellow.
I imagine he was looking more at the back.
Bergoli couldn't see that, but the guys that ran into the back of him when he got loose, I mean, he was loose for about half a straightaway. There was time for them to lift, but they chose to finish the deal.
Bergoli could see it up at the top, but it was a black car against a black fence. So maybe maybe it's a little off-putting, and he's got 2 guys right in front of him.
Yeah, his eyes are definitely not there. He was looking to the left, trying to see, how to thread himself through the hole, probably.
I'll give Paul the benefit of the doubt. Bergoli is typically one of the cleanest guys on iRacing, so I'm going to give Bergoli the benefit of the doubt more times than not.
And that's what you get up here if you don't, raise hell every week.
You will get the benefit of the doubt. Yep, that is true. We will give the benefit of the doubt if you're not crazy.
But if you are, I'm going to say what I feel.
Yep, exactly. You get no benefit.
But if it's a dumb move, I'm going to call it a dumb move. That's what we're here for.
True. You
right
ain't
now,
wrong about that.
Everybody that isn't Garrett Maines, dumb move. Be Garrett Maines. There. Problem solved.
Wow. Man, I think I joined the service about the same time as Garrett. And the reason why Garrett is so daggum good is because whenever he first got on here, and I don't think that he stopped doing this, he practices and races more than anybody I have ever seen on this sim. At least back in the day, that's how it was, and I believe it's very similar nowadays. That's how you got to be if you're going to make the Coke series. And that's the reason why he consistently runs up at the front in most of these races. If you put in 8 hours a day, you could run up there with him. But it's tough, man. It is tough.
Yeah, Garrett has been putting in a lot of work on this stuff for a long time. I'd like to know what his lap count is at this point. I'm about to look into that after the race.
Well, whenever, back in the day, whenever the cars were more fun to drive, I would put in just about that much time. But ever since the next gen came out, no thank you. Actually, before then, the NAD 18, whatever the stupid draft package was that they put on the Gen 6, that's whenever I stopped. That's miserable, man. But either way, we're going to try to get a good finish to this thing. 6 laps to go. And Garrett Maines easily first down to the gas pedal and back to the race lead. Ryco correcting us a little bit. Man, he races a lot. Maybe he doesn't practice a lot, but he races a hell of a lot. So, same difference.
Side by side for second. Going to clear out now. Houghton to the bottom. Move him up to P2. Joseph squared up in the third spot. Nicholas Roman with a torn up car up here in fourth. What can he do as we get later into this thing?
Later into this thing. We got 5 laps to go. This is done. Later into this thing. What the heck? Roman up to fourth somehow with a mangled front end after nosing that thing into the inside wall. Has clawed his way back up to the 4th place spot. It's a great run out of the 95, but in front of him, it's Garrett Maines, James Houghton, Joseph squared in the 3 podium positions right now, and it's Garrett Maines who's led every single lap of the day as we come down to 3 laps to go. Oh, the 8 goes into the outside wall. Brandon Himmel gets turned as well, coming out of turn number 4. Multiple drivers around down the front straightaway. Evgeny Muzganov got the biggest netcode I have ever witnessed at iRacing, or on iRacing. Holy cow. Oh!
Was that double netcode?
I think it might have been.
Got the 18.
Which, I mean, there's not, I know iRacing's trying, or I think they just recently hired somebody to fix their netcode issues. But whenever a car blinks out like that in the middle of the corner and then blinks back in, that's not an iRacing thing, right? It doesn't matter how good your netcode software is or system is. It's not going to do anything for you. It doesn't look like it was double netcode. The 18 got the right rear into the left rear.
Did he? From right there, from the blimp camera, it looked like there was a space between the two of them.
It was like 2 inches of netcode.
Okay.
But whenever there's a car wrecking, you expect a little bit of netcode, right? But yeah, I mean, it's frustrating for both these guys. But again, that one, typically the netcode stuff I blame on iRacing a little bit. That one, it was just Johan's internet, right? I think there was nothing else we can say about that.
That's also the thing with Bristol, though. The predictive netcode has always been a little wonky because how fast the cars are, how much load they're under. I mean, you remember that year that we came here and the cars were literally just twitching for like the first 2 days before they fixed it? I
can't say I do remember that.
It was 2019 when we first got the Aero package. Everything had way too much grip, and iRacing, like the actual netcode, couldn't keep up with it because it wasn't used to that much load in the corners.
That would make sense that I wouldn't remember it because as soon as they brought out that package, I dipped.
It was so cool because we'd just go in the corner and you'd see everybody's cars. They were just, it was like they were torquing in front of you. It was wild.
Still can't believe that we ran that package on a race car. God bless.
Have you seen what we're running? You see what we're running now?
It's better than I don't like this car, but it is way better than the last few years on 1.5 miles for the Gen 6. And you cannot tell me otherwise. That was disgusting what we were watching. Kansas with Logano and Harvick, that was infuriating to watch.
The Xfinity car and the Cup car being within 25 horsepower, or the Cup car being under 100 horsepower than the Xfinity car, that's disgusting to me.
I agree.
I will stay on my boomer hill until we get 800 horsepower back, which I know is
Let's be honest. The Xfinity car needs another 100 horsepower too. But the Cup car 100%. Needs another 230.
I'm good with both of these, let's just let her rip.
I really do think a lot of the next gen issues would be fixed with some horsepower and a skinnier tire. I really do.
I know one thing that wouldn't be fixed with the skinnier tire and more horsepower. That's the blowovers.
Said that would be fixed?
No, that wouldn't be. That's the one thing that wouldn't be.
Oh. Well, screw that. Blow over more. I don't give a dang. Just give me better racing. Blowovers aren't even dangerous nowadays. These cars are so safe, which I got to say they've done a fantastic job on the safety. But after, the first year was bad with safety. But
I have to give him so much credit because Larson, if that was the old car, he wouldn't be here right now.
Well, Garrett Maines and James Houghton up on the front row coming down to the green-white checkered. Garrett Maines first back to the gas. We're racing once again. Like I said, 2 laps to go. We are in the one and only green-white checkered, so it's all you can get right here, right now. James Houghton side by side with Joseph Squared for second. Can Nicholas Roman get himself onto the podium as we come down in the white flag? Garrett Maines and the race lead contact between Roman and Joseph as we funnel down into turn number 1 for the last time for the A Open. A lot of racing further back, but up towards the front, it is going to be all Garrett Maines, who has led every single lap of this thing, except for a couple under caution, to win the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. Easy peasy here for Garrett Maines.
Hey, man, Vroman did it. Got himself up to P3. And a Ryco lockout 1 through 4.
Garrett Maines going 3 for 3 over the last 3 races. Did he win the Friday night before that too? What was it? Before Watkins Glen, Atlanta? I don't think he won Atlanta on Friday night. So three in a row for Garrett Maines in the A Opens and NIS Opens here on the Ryco Performance top split nights. And as he's doing his burnouts, we're going to take our final commercial break of the A Open. It'll be abbreviated, and then we're going to get interviews with our top 3. Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. We've just finished the A Open, and we got the full race results here. Garrett Maines, James Houghton, Nicholas Roman rounding out the podium here tonight. What a rebound from Roman after that early contact and damage. Joseph Squared in 4th, Clayton Hoffman 5th, Jacob Schneider in 6th, Tommy Gossett 7th with a good recovery drive as well. Johan Seminario in 8th, Matt Baker in 9th, Trevor Baxter rounds out the top 10.
In 11th place, you got Sean Rogers, followed by Brandon Meal. With 13th place, Evgeny Muzganov, followed by Caden Diedrich in 14th. 15th is going to be Jose Acosta with Devin Medeiros in 16th. 17th is going to be Rafael P. Hubby, with 18th place being Miller Bonds. 19th is going to be Patrick Gitter, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be Jalen Handcamp.
21st place is going to be Roger Pierce, 22nd, Paul Bergoli, William Phillips in 23rd, PB Henry 24th, Jeremy Bianchini in 25th, and Connor Rockwood rounds out the 26-car field here tonight. That's going to do it for the full race rundown, so we're going to go ahead and pull up our top 3 and give them a little bit of an interview, and I feel like it's becoming a broken record with Nicholas Roman finishing in 3rd place in every single race that we get him in. This one a little bit more eventful than the races at Watkins Glen last week. So, Nick, what were you thinking whenever you went nose first into the inside wall, man, because I thought you were done.
Third place, that's fucked up. Third place every race?
For the last week. For the last week.
Man.
Hey, for the last 3 races, man. 3 for Dale. Come on,
well, that's fucked up still. God damn. I don't even know what to think, dude. My fucking car was broken. I was burning the shit out of my right front because some lap car, I don't know what the fuck he was doing. Fucking doored the shit out of me. I smacked the inside wall. That was fun. And yeah, somehow we finished third. Got lucky starting fourth there on the last restart. And, you know, I'd say bye to Jumanji, you know, see you later. And then we ended up third.
That's an amazing nickname, better than Joseph Squared for sure. Jumanji Squared, that's the name from now on. But Nick, how the hell did you get back through the field, right? You had a destroyed front end. How much damage did you have on that thing? How much did you get fixed? And how in the world could you get past even your teammates on the same setup with a damaged race car?
Well, you know, I chew big red. You know, actually, when you joined this race, did you feel like your neck hairs, you know, raise up a little bit? Because rumor is that there's a what do you call it? A serial protester out there somewhere? Kind of like the hash swingers, slash dinger danger, whatever you call them. Rumor is, I don't know. My hair started sticking up and I got scared, so.
I don't see him in here. So you might be thinking of a different serial protester than I'm thinking of.
He's out there somewhere. Just look out for it. Look out. Watch your back.
We're gonna keep the name under wraps, but if you've been on X for the last couple of days, you know exactly who Roman's talking about. But hopefully he wasn't in here spectating just to protest anybody. But we'll have to wait and see. Nick, who do you have to think at the end of this one?
Yeah, shout out to you guys, man. Jacob and Ken, you know, they worked hard. I guess it's okay. Set was pretty good. So shout out to them. Shout out to guys on track, but I don't know. It was a rough race. So,
Nick, it might have been a rough race, but you still finished up on the podium, man. So that's what you mentioned Atlanta, so that's 4 podiums in a row, right? That we've been broadcasting. That's pretty dang good. Dadgum good. Holy cow.
Yeah, you know, third place, you know, whatever you called me.
Mr. Third place. Hey, your car number 3 tonight too, so it just worked out.
Yeah.
Well, Nick, congratulations on the podium again, and looking forward to seeing if you can not finish in third on Friday.
Well, yeah, we'll see.
Good luck, bud.
All right.
All right, that was your third place finisher, Nicholas Roman. Next up, we're going to pull up James Houghton, our second place finisher, who's going to be talking with Sheldon Atkins.
And Houghton, up 11 spots, one of the biggest movers of the race. You and Tommy were absolutely the show the first half of this event tonight. How were you able to get up there and make those tires work and keep it sticking, though? Because we saw a lot of guys make those same moves and just fall like a rock.
I honestly don't really know. I have to apologize to my team. I was away racing in a Grid Life GLT race this weekend, and we always try to really hard to test as a team. I wanted to first apologize that I wasn't there for it last night, and I don't really know. My first laps on the set were in qualifying, and my first laps on the race set were in the race, and I just tried to kind of mimic what my teammates were doing. And when I felt like I had a little bit of extra tire, I would try to take a spot, and then I'd try to cool them off a little bit again. And I really enjoy racing Bristol, and obviously, you know, these Ryco sets are on another planet, right? Like this is quite something. So I just really appreciate getting to be on this team. Really appreciate getting to race with such great teammates that are so fast and so clean, and you know, fantastic to be able to be on the stream as well.
James, you put together one hell of a performance, especially for absolutely no practice. So I know you've got a ton of thanks in order for this one. Am I right?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know. This car is like, this thing drives itself. I left Chicago at 6:30 Eastern time, and I walked in my door this morning, coming home from that race at 4 o'clock this morning. I was at work at 9, and here we are. So if I can do this, man, everyone needs to get this set up this week because it is on another planet.
Man, one heck of an advertisement, and one heck of a good drive tonight. Thanks for popping up in here. Have yourself a good one, man.
Appreciate it. Thank you.
All right, that was your second place finisher, James Houghton. Next up, we're going to pull up serial race winner. We talked to the serial third place driver just a little bit ago. Now we got the serial race winner up in the broadcast booth. Garrett Main's going a perfect 3 for 3 over the last 3 races for the Ryco Performance Monday and Friday night top split. So Garrett, man, this one came a little bit easier than the A Open last week, I'd say. I mean, you were absolutely flying out there tonight.
Yeah, I mean, definitely definitely had a good car, and once I was out front, I could kind of control the pace. Wasn't really sure with the version that I chose to run what I was going to have for long run, so I was kind of going with it and just seeing where everybody else was setting the pace to start the race. But it really, came together when we got into traffic. I felt like I could move around, and the groove changed throughout that race, so it's nice to be able to find a place to run and have the handling coming off the corner to still get the runs.
Garrett, you still well, I hope you don't have the runs, but Garrett, you still have Garrett, you still had a couple challenges from behind from Houghton, and Tommy was trying to get up there at some point, Schneider before his speeding penalty. So what was the key of holding those guys off in the short run? Was it just the clean air, getting that top side, or what were you doing behind the wheel to really be able to hang on to the lead?
I don't know. I mean, I never really had anybody get to my outside or even challenge for it, and I think that was the big thing. Like, once I just set the pace on the top, I don't think anybody was really willing to go burn their stuff up to try, and I had been just kind of pacing myself, and I think that's, it's what happens when you got, a line of teammates. I mean, we all know that we're on something similar. I think, James is on a version, Jacob was on a version, and I was on a different one as well. Like, all of us are trying something so we could learn which one we wanted to run for the week, but I don't know. I felt like we were all so even on pace. Like, if he was to make the move to the top, like, he was probably going to take us both down. So I don't know. I think clean air plays a factor, obviously, and having the ability to set the pace there and just kind of manage my tires was a huge advantage. And I didn't feel like the person that was right behind me ever really made the challenge right away. So, I think there were a lot of factors that allowed me to just kind of set sail. Or, I didn't really ever take off from James or Jacob, but we were able to kind of keep a consistent pace, and none of us really dragged each other down, and we just kind of took off and started going through the field. So, shout out to all the guys at Ryco for all the work they put in on this car. I was told that if I cleared up on that restart and got a good start and got this interview, that I should clarify that I definitely do not do the most testing on the team. That would go to Jacob, Roman.
I don't think I said that you did the most testing on the team.
Practicing,
right?
whatever the word was.
Whenever I say practice, these are kind of like pug races, right? If you do an official race, you're just kind of messing around. Like, I view the official races as practice, to an extent. For NIS, for the bigger races. That's kind of what I was getting at. You do a lot of racing. You do a lot of running.
Fair enough. But yeah, it's always fun running with those guys. I mean, I don't even view it as practice. I enjoy running with these guys, and these are some of the most competitive races of the week. I mean, I'd say the A Open sometimes is harder than the NIS. So, definitely. It's been nice to be able to run these. A couple years ago I didn't get to, so Ryco's provided good cars for the last 2 years, and I've had something to go out there and win with. So, shout out to those guys once again. I say this every week, but we really do unload with the piece. They can win this race, so shout out to them, and I'll be seeing you actually in about 10 more minutes when we go for the B car race and doing double duty tonight.
Oh boy, okay. So we're gonna try to go 4 for 4 over the last couple races that you've been in so far in the Ryco Performance Monday night and Friday night top split. Looking forward to seeing if you can pull double duty tonight and bring checkered flags home. But Garrett, who do you have to thank at the end of this one?
Yeah, I gotta give a huge shout out to Scott at MCU Body, Lennox, once again the guys at Ryco Performance for all their hard work, FGR Excel, and Left Court Brothers for their support.
Well, Garrett, congratulations on winning here tonight from Bristol, and looking forward to seeing if you can make it back-to-back a little bit later tonight.
I hope so. Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
Alrighty, that was your race winner, Garrett Maines, here for the A Open. And, well, this one ran a little bit shorter than most A Opens. Bristol was pretty quick. Luckily, we didn't have the cautions that we typically expect from Bristol for the A Open. So we're going to get a quick look at our schedule, and then we're going to sign off for about 15 minutes and come back for the B Open. We're looking at the schedule Thursday, the High Slide iRacing Truck Series, 8:20 p.m. Eastern at Daytona. Friday night, back here for the Ryco Performance Friday night top split, 9 p.m. Eastern at Bristol. And then Saturday night, Brands Hatch for the Major Series. That's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern. Long race from Brands Hatch coming at you live on Saturday night. So be sure to stay with us here. We're going to take about a 15-minute break and come back and call the B race, which will have a little bit less dirty air, so maybe a little bit more passing. It'll be fun to watch. for some more Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split action. We got the Be Open coming at you live from the Bristol Motor Speedway. I'm Austin Edstrom, standing alongside Sheldon Atkins and Austin Derbyshires behind the production booth, as always. So we're going to get some nice NBC shots instead of Fox shots, hopefully tonight. That's the plan. Small racetrack, so we shouldn't miss much, as we're going to get the aerial view once again of the Bristol Motor Speedway with the flattened out stands for whatever reason. As we come down into the Bristol Motor Speedway. Sorry, I laugh every time I see it. But at the start-finish line, the front straightaway is just a little bit banked, right? 5 to 9 degrees, but then you get down into the corners, and, well, it's a whole heck of a lot different, going all the way up to 24 degrees of banking, all the way up by the wall, 22 down at the very bottom. And like I mentioned earlier, a little bit of an egg-shaped racetrack, 1 and 2 a lot wider than 3 and 4. Very, very narrow corner 3 and 4 is, as we're taking a look at the banking around it as well. Sheldon, what do you think about the B car, right? We saw the A Open, a little bit of dirty air problems, a little bit harder to pass the leader here for the B Open. I think it might be a little bit easier.
It's going to be easier to pass. Yeah, the dirty air is not going to be anywhere near as much of a factor. In fact, it's not going to be dirty air at all. The main issue with these, though, these things are so edgy coming off the corners if you give it just a little bit too much throttle, because you have absolutely no downforce. These cars are an absolute blast to drive around here.
We're going to move straight into the broadcast picks. Up first, myself, going with Brandon Schmidt, starting in the 6th place position tonight. I think he's going to have a good night, find himself up towards the top 3, and could potentially bring home the dub tonight.
I'm going to have to go with the Ryco machine of Matt White tonight. Typically pretty good at the short tracks. I remember him being really good when I was racing against him here at Dover. Or racing against him at Dover in these cars earlier in the season. So expect a good performance out of him.
And our producer picked Kwame Scott. We've actually got 2 pros in here for the B Open tonight. 2 Coke guys coming down to the B Open, running the top split here. The second of the week, I should say, for the B Open cars. Kwame Scott is that other excuse me, God bless. Kwame Scott is that other pro lining up on the pole, and, well, the other one, Derek Maines, lining up on his outside. The 2 pros qualifying 1st and 2nd, half a tenth of a second apart. Then 3rd place, another half a tenth of a second back. Justin Smith with Dylan Murcott on his outside in 4th. Chris Mathis in 5th place with Brandon Schmidt in 6th. Joe Armstrong and Clinton Engel are on row number 4 with Cody Dahl and Blair Wickett rounding out the top 10.
In 11th place, we got Adriano Gomez, followed by Chris Frost in 12th. 13th is going to be Eddie Rose, with 14th place being Nolan Hodgson. 15th is going to be Alexander Tessier, followed by Matt White in 16th. 17th is going to be John Williams with Thomas Havorth in 18th. 19th is going to be Jared Mogard, and rounding out your top 20 is going to be Ricky Utting.
21st, Charles Velasquez Jr. with Ava Ludvig in the outside of row number 11. Then row number 12 is going to be Nate Nicholson and Ryan Philbrick to round out the 24-car field. 2 less cars here tonight for the B Open than we had in the A Open just a few moments ago. So just a little bit less lap traffic, but I'd imagine it's still going to play a factor into tonight's race if we get those long green flag runs like we had in the A Open. Sheldon, do you think we're going to get those long green flag runs? Because I didn't think we were going to get them for the A.
Oh, that's a hard call. I mean, all right, we're going to look at it, and we're going to be completely honest here, and we're going to look at it from a talent level. A Open, we had, your regulars that we see every week. A lot of talent in that split. We're an hour past the initial SOF for the B Open series, so we're going to be honest, it's a little bit more mixed than what we would have seen, at 8 o'clock. The B car being a little bit more difficult, I'm expecting people to struggle with the handling a lot more than what we saw in the A Open. Combine that with the fact that we have a little bit more of a mixed split. I'm expecting egos are going to outweigh talent levels at some point tonight, and I'm expecting a handful more cautions. Maybe not a complete wreck fest, but more than just the 2 that we saw in the A Open.
These things are a little bit harder to drive. A little bit less horsepower, but a lot skinnier tire. So not as much grip to kind of fall back on. So I do believe it's going to be a little bit of a more difficult race for these guys out here tonight in the Xfinity cars. My more fun car to drive. I think these things are absolutely fantastic as we get 1 to go. The lights on the iRacing pace car turning off.
What I am expecting here is we got 2 top talent pros starting this thing off 1 and 2. You got Kwame Scott and you got Garrett Maines. I'm expecting a battle of the ages. Nexus versus Ryco here. This is going to be one heck of a show, because neither one of these 2 teams are slouches.
Kwame Scott and Garrett Maines up on the front. And Kwame's actually in the Contender Series, so not quite a pro, but he's got a pro license. So close enough, right? But Kwame Scott, Garrett Maines up on the front row. Justin Smith in third. Dylan Murcott lining up in the 4th place spot. We're racing once again from Bristol here for the B Open. Dead heat coming down to the line between Kwame and Garrett Maines. Who gets the run out of turn 2?
Right now, Maines doing a good job cooking the top, keeping himself even with Kwame. He's going to get the run coming down the back straightaway. Kwame going to fall back to second. Going to fall in line here behind Garrett for just a little bit. But Garrett Maines is going to lead the first lap.
Garrett Maines up in the lead, using that outside line to his advantage. The one restart where the outside line probably has a little bit of a better jump than the inside line, having to wait until that green flag to go. As we see the 54 and 22 a little bit further back, side by side, fighting for the, I believe, 6th place position. Armstrong and Mathis going at it. Armstrong's going to take the spot, and he's going to look to the outside of Schmidt for 5th.
A little bit of a battle shaking up right now.
Oh, Armstrong just about loses it. He tapped the back bumper of the 20. Brandon Schmidt entered narrow. The 22 was trying to enter a little bit
got wrecked on
more
the front
narrow.
straightaway.
Oh, no, they're still wrecking. They're wrecking down into turn number 1. Huge wreck coming down into turn number 1. Multiple drivers involved. Only one going around. And already taking the toe. Matt White.
Matt White.
Oh,
He
the
caught the
Shelton
engine.
pick. Oh, Hodgson just slid across the racetrack. Not quite clear. I believe, was that? Yeah, I believe that was Hodgson. Not quite clear. Not quite clear. It was close, and I feel like they kind of like net coated into each other. It almost looked like it took a second for the contact to actually kind of take place.
It won't clear. That bumper was there. I mean, it was a quarter panel coming out of the corner and onto the straightaway. He just barely cleared up enough to where he was dragging his rear bumper across the front clip of the one machine of White.
That was just weird that it took so long for the contact to happen, because like you said, the bumper was there, but it was almost like they glitched into each other for a moment. I mean, that was a strange one. We saw a little bit of an internet issue in the last race, but that was due to one guy's internet. Neither of those guys were blinking, but they both kind of got caught together, and the contact didn't actually happen until they had just about evened out the bumpers.
Yeah, I think that was just one of those weird deals where it was a little bit of network and, hit boxes too, misaligning just a little bit, just enough to create a wreck that, wouldn't have happened in real life.
Good pick, Sheldon.
Unfortunately. Yeah, I feel terrible now. Sorry, Matt. I promise I won't pick you for the rest of the season.
Oh, man. That hurts. That hurts. You are a serial jinxer.
Yeah, but not a serial protester, so.
Oh, man. Nick,
I'm a serial protestee.
Vroman opened up a can of worms with that one, didn't he?
Roman opened up a bunch of cans of worms on that last one, man.
Oh, boy. Nobody likes a serial protester, boys. Nobody likes a serial protester. I've been on here 7.5 years, and I think I've filed maybe 1 or 2. There happens to be a certain somebody that might have 1 or 2,000.
Yeah, it's pretty rough.
That's hilarious. Like, what? Do you not have anything better to do with your time?
The Ned Flanders of iRacing.
Oh, that's a great way to put it. That is a great way to put it. Like, what in the world? Can't just have fun on here. Can't just have fun.
I'll tell you what, man. Some of the things I've been called in GTA and Call of Duty lobbies, I'd love to see him get on there.
Oh, goodness. Could you imagine he'd be pitching a fit crying the entire game?
Oh, man.
Don't let him see a Modern Warfare 2 lobby from back in the day. Holy cow.
He talked about my mommy.
He said he was going to DDoS me. Thank God the B Open, we always lose our minds, but we have something funny to lose our minds about today. But either way, we're coming back to the green flag. Garrett Maines now on the inside line. Kwame able to hang on to the right rear coming down into turn number 1. Can he use the momentum like Garrett Maines did on lap number 1? Going to lose a little bit of ground, and they're almost wrecking further back through 1 and 2. One car sideways. They end up saving it. But I'm starting to think this is not going to be the green flag fest that we saw in the A Open.
No, it's going to take a while. You're going to need to whittle out a couple cars. Typically how the B Opens go, just because of how difficult these things are and how aggressive the drivers are here in this series. A little bit of side-by-side battling right now, a little bit further in the back of the field. The 20 and the 97 machine. Coming down the front straightaway here. 97 going to get clear.
That's Blair Wickett fighting for the 6th place position, and now looking down to the inside, taking a spot from Murcott as he had an issue coming out of turn number 2. So now Wickett up to 5th, continuing his charge up towards the front of the field. Next on his list is Chris Mathis. Mathis got through for 4th as Murcott is continuing his backward slide.
Yeah, Murcott's been struggling the past couple weeks. I'm not sure why. Just really been having issues with rear end grip, as you see it there ever since the change that they made with the nose end geometry on these cars. He's been really struggling with loose race cars.
Garrett Main's still up in the race lead. Kwame not letting him get away, though. All these guys still migrating more towards the bottom of the racetrack like we saw in the A Open. The bottom seems to be the tire-saving line. You just want to run down there for a good majority of the laps. Kwame going for a little bit of a later diamond, trying to find some clean air on the very bottom coming out of turn number 4, that tight corner, and then wrapping right in the tire tracks of Garrett Main's around 1 and 2.
Yeah, he's just trying to find any way to build that momentum on Garrett. Try to get some kind of a charge launched up. Hopefully, you know, probably want to get up to that right rear quarter panel and get that move done going into one of the corners. It's going to be so hard to do, though, man, because Mainz is so calculated, so talented. It's going to be such a great fight between these two as we see another yellow on the track.
Oh, no.
Oh, huge damage on that 5 machine.
Oh, man, he's destroyed. Ava Ludwig up against the outside wall, letting the field go by.
When the hood comes up on these things, you know you've been in something.
Oh.
Same thing we saw a little bit ago.
And you see the netcode, him coming back up across, too?
Yeah.
They were so far apart from each other. Which Conti car is that? I'm literally scrolling through my entire... Oh, it was John Williams. John Williams was the one involved in that one.
Yeah, it's the same thing we saw a little bit ago. Somebody, you know, slides up in front of somebody, kind of trying to choke off that run. Since these bumpers don't line up on these cars like they do in the Cup cars, it's a pivot point. It just flat out sends you.
And on that one, at least the 18 was clear, but you know they were going to come with a huge head of steam on the outside line. If you're going to cut it that close, you're asking a lot of the guy behind you, right? I feel like you almost have to concede that they're going to be to your outside because they're just not going to be able to slow up enough to stay out of your rear bumper whenever they're coming at that closing rate with the run off the top side of the racetrack. So I kind of feel for John Williams there.
Yeah, you hate to see it for John Williams, and you hate to see it for the 18 waifu machine that spurred that thing off. But, I guess back to the dating sims for the rest of the night as this thing finishes off.
Of course, our weeaboo producer has to get a really good good look at that one.
I love it. I got a buddy named Eli that probably has about three cars in different series that have that same exact paint scheme.
That paint scheme's offensive. I'm going to protest him.
He is a proud collector of the anime girl paint schemes.
Oh gosh, goodness gracious!
And he runs about how you think he would.
Oh, why do we lose our minds in the B Open every week?
Dude, because we get cooked about halfway through the first race. We typically end up interviewing Roman, and he completely throws us off.
That's true. Roman really did throw us for a loop today. He came in firing.
That's great. I love it.
He's the one that brought up the serial protester.
The lack of filter that he shows in his interviews every week, I think everybody needs to bring.
I aspire to be that level of IDGAF.
You've kind of always been that level, man.
Well, yeah, mostly, but you know, sometimes I tone it back a little bit. If I was that level, we would have to rate this broadcast R.
You need to not race until they make changes with the protest system, because you will get banned.
True.
I've heard you on the chat.
Oh, I hold back. I don't press the button anymore. I just scream into my room as if I'm actually yelling at the person, just so that I don't get protested. Especially now that we have a serial protester. I don't want to get got.
I think if they were to go back through the voice chat logs on this game the past like 5 or 6 years, we could probably both fill a 2.5 hour long radioactive segment.
I mean, there literally used to be a video of us on YouTube from somebody else of us in a carb cup drunk racing at Daytona. So yeah, I'd have to agree. Thankfully, that one got taken down.
I always race sober.
Yeah, that was like 5 years ago. Oh, sure, buddy. Sure. You're probably not sober right now.
No, I am.
Well, you do have a kid now, so it's a little bit different. Either way, Garrett Maines back to the restart zone, back to the gas. A little bit of a better start for Garrett Maines this time, leaving Kwame Scott in the dust, and he's going to be stuck side by side with Justin Smith. But he does have that outside groove, and it's going to get a huge run down the back straightaway, and he's going to clear for the second place spot as they're side by side for fourth.
Side by side battle, Wicked on the outside of the 20 machine. If I think that is Schmidt. Don't hit me if I'm wrong.
And there's a yellow.
Another yellow.
Oh boy.
I guess they hit me. I must have been wrong.
Oh no. Okay, every single time somebody has nosed it into that inside wall, we've been seeing some hoods flapping.
Yeah, man, we got juggle physics on the hoods now.
Flappy hood.
Wow.
Oh man, like an inch of netcode in between the two.
They're calling out the 11 right now in the driver chat, and I'd have to say that one's wrong. Because even if they did make contact there, that shouldn't have been enough to shoot them around like that.
I'd have to agree, right? Like it was going to be such a light touch, but whenever it's netcode, it amplifies what the hit will be.
Yeah, exactly. There was nothing there. It's unfortunate, absolutely unfortunate. And normally when we first got it,
from the rear chase, it doesn't look like netcode on my end, but obviously
from the blimp.
If you look at it from my end on the blimp, it's not netcode, but from the broadcast, it did look like netcode. But I'm watching my own visual right now from the blimp, and they made contact.
Out to. I can watch that one myself.
The thing is that the car's offloading out of the corner, and whenever it's offloading, that's whenever the car is at its loosest, and any bit of contact can send it around. So I get it. Like I said, it's gonna look like netcode right here. Like there's an inch. I mean, just maybe not even on that. I mean, it's so bang bang. They're super tight. Just the tiniest of taps is gonna send you around while the car's offloading out of the banking. On my end, I see no netcode. On the first look on the broadcast, I thought there was, but I'm leaning towards no netcode.
Yeah, I'm looking at it on mine right now, and I've even rotated my camera, and I'm seeing about 3 inches of netcode.
Really? I'm not seeing any. Well, that's an internet racing game for you at the end of the day, right? You can only get so good with how it translates between each person, I suppose, right? Everybody sees something a little bit different.
It's a rough break for both of them, but I do have to give Gomez credit. He took full accountability before he even had to look at a replay. You don't see that often.
No, you don't. You really don't.
Got that man on the back.
I ran the 6-hour of Indy this past weekend, and all it was people screaming at each other, and there was definitely no accountability being had. I can tell you that. I mean, it was.
How'd that one go for you, by the way?
Oh, it went great.
How great?
Whenever you're in the LMP2 class and you're closer to the overall leader than second place in the LMP2 class, it's a great race.
Heck yeah, man. Love to hear it.
Yeah, buddy.
Look at
Thanks
this.
for letting me shamelessly plug my LMP2 win in like 6 split.
It's all right. My teammate got the dub in a Sim Racer Hub last week.
Hey, there you go.
Charlotte.
And I gotta say, we're on the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split. I don't run the Ryco stuff on the oval. I barely ever run oval anymore. But we all know how good it is on the A Open side of things. But the road course cars, man, they're just as good. I was running an LMP2 Ryco set, and it was unreal, man, on absolute rails. I felt like I didn't even have to do anything. The car was driving itself. My producer said, I hope you paid for it. I did, buddy. I did. I got the email to prove it. I got the email confirmation to prove I paid for it.
Man, good for you. You turn into a good race driver here.
Sure, we'll go with that. But either way, come back to the green flag. Garrett Maines coming down to lap number 29. Once again, a good start for Garrett. Clearing Kwame before we get down into 1. Kwame's going to end up clearing for second as we come out of turn number 2. Justin Smith files through into 3rd. Brandon Schmidt 4th. Blair Wickett in 5th.
17, Frost up there trying to make moves up on the outside, trying to put that momentum down the straightaway. A little bit further in the back now, though. The old 14 machine, Murcott. As dead loose as that thing is, he's doing a good job holding on to a decent position. As you see, Velasquez going to the inside of him here through 3 and 4.
Velasquez getting positioning on Murcott. Murcott started up in the 4th place position. He has slid all the way back to 9th. So either the qualifying set is way better than the race set for Murcott, or he left the qualifying set on.
I've noticed that the past few weeks. It just seems like he's having a really hard time maintaining that right rear tire with whatever he's running. And we're in the yellow again.
You know, a typical thing I like to say a lot is second verse same as the first. Whenever we see, you know, do-si-do, it's the same thing happening relatively frequently. Well, this is the exact opposite from the A Open so far. We ran, what, 90 laps before the first yellow, and now we're getting... Really, that was a yellow? I saw way more that should have been yellows in the A Open than that.
We saw more that should have been yellows in this race than that.
Oh, man. Well, we're thinning the herd, at least. I'm seeing people leave. So, maybe there will be, you know, few enough race cars to where we'll stop wrecking every 3 laps. Maybe.
Didn't we have a conversation a few weeks ago about doing something in one hand and something in the other? I think that might be the scenario.
I'm going to just say you were going with texting and driving and leave it at that, because I got no idea where you're going with.
Wishing in one hand and...
I think you might need to stop, buddy.
Yeah, we will. But yeah, I think we're going to be in for a nice little sit down here for the rest of the night.
Do you think Garrett's regretting running the B Open? I mean, he's up in the lead, but man,
do we want what his answer would be, or do we want to know? Do we want to go with the real answer?
Well, his answer is I would like to thank all the guys back at the shop, and he would call it quits right there. But the actual answer going behind his head is like, probably, come on, you bunch of idiots, figure it out, drive in a straight line.
Nah, Garrett's always just prim and positive. There's just no way.
Are you sure? Are you sure? I know he projects that outwardly on the broadcast.
No way.
But you don't think that there's an evil side in there somewhere?
No way, man.
Oh, come on.
It's all just... That's rough.
It's just weird. Like I said on I said it on the rec after that. I was seeing something different on my end than what I saw on the broadcast. But and that makes sense in all honesty, you know, him saying that, because I thought it was weird how on the broadcast it looked like the bumpers entered each other and they didn't make contact until they were almost evened up, right? So, to be honest, I don't think Nolan's lying. I think that that's probably what was on his screen. Like, I don't know what's going on this week, but the last couple times we've had a big iRacing update, you know, in one of the week 13s, I feel like the next 2 or 3 weeks, we just notice a lot of bugs, whether it be hardware failures. Like I remember at the end of season 2, I saw so many people having hardware failures. I was having hardware failures, and I've never had them in my life on this game. And now I'm telling you, I'm seeing different stuff on my screen than what I'm seeing on the broadcast on my other monitor. So I don't even doubt Nolan with that. I don't at all. I bet he's telling the truth.
Did you just call iRacing a game?
It is a game.
It is a simulator.
Both. It's both. It's a game that I pay a lot of freaking money for.
Yeah, I've spent a lot of money to run about 15th every week. You get wrecked and get angry.
Coming back down to the green flag. How long will we keep it green for? That's the big question. Garrett Maines up in the race lead once again. Kwame Scott not able to keep the right rear, but pretty close.
What a
Garrett
good
Maines
run.
going to slide up across his nose. It was close between the two, though. I thought we were going to have another bumper hook there, to be honest.
Kwame looking better on this restart than he has so far all night. Really charging that outside line, building good momentum down the straightaway to get him back to Maines' bumper coming into the corner. Going to cycle back down to the bottom right now, then save some tires. Smart move.
At the rate that this race is going, I think we're going to end the race on the same set of tires that we started with.
Depends on what the fuel tank says.
Oh, they got enough gas. With all these caution laps, I mean, we've ran 25 caution laps in 40 laps. I think we're fine.
Yeah, good point. Brandon Schmidt kind of falling backwards right now. You saw him get passed by Charles Velasquez there a second ago, and now he's falling back. Another spot behind Joe Armstrong, and into the clutches of Blair Wickett.
These guys racing hard back here. Kwame Scott tried the high side in 3 and 4 that time. Got a huge run on mains, but was not able to look to the inside as we came down into turn number 1 and 2. This time he thinks different of the move. Just goes back down to the bottom. Saving tires way down there. Battle for 4th a little bit further back. Chris Frost getting around Charles Velasquez Jr. on the outside of the racetrack. Frost has moved up from the 12th place position up to 4th. But how about Velasquez? He's up from 21st to 5th.
Yeah, Velasquez absolutely cooking right now. Something about that car, that setup, and what he's got under him right now is just really working out for him, making up a lot of good spots here. One of the guys that didn't qualify. Apparently he likes the excitement of driving through the field here at Bristol.
Well, he might have gotten the right lane on restarts a couple times too.
that foolish soul, man.
I mean, hey, it's working out for him so far up in 5th, and I guarantee you he hasn't used too much of the tires because he's been able to put 4 heat cycles on them just like everybody else, and gets them cooled down right as soon as he's starting to use them. So I imagine Velasquez has made up 16 spots, and he's probably not hurting the tires too much doing it.
What I'm really liking for him is we got 4 corners on that car, each one of them clean, not a mark, not a scratch. Keeping that thing in, one piece is very huge here at Bristol because a lot of people are going to be tearing these things up before the night's over.
Still racing hard back here behind Armstrong, Schmidt, Wickett, Mathis, all nose to tail, fighting for the 6th place position. Armstrong leading the charge right now. A little bit further back, Mathis looking to the outside of Blair Wickett. That's going to be for the 8th place position. Throwing that thing down to the outside of turns 3 and 4, getting the move done with the momentum coming off the corner, and he is staying committed to that outside line.
Yeah, man, it's working for him right now. Got past Wickett, now he's all over the back bumper of Brandon Schmidt. Look at the sparks fly off that thing as it bobs out coming out of the corner. That's pretty cool.
The field spread is pretty ridiculous at this point. The entire field spread out to single file except for this battle right here with Mathis going around the outside, taking 7th away from Schmidt. Garrett Main's about to come up on Ava Ludwig, who's 10 laps down after that earlier incident. Gonna have to pay attention, make sure he gets through A-OK, but it's gonna be a pretty large gap to the next lap car. Thomas Horvath, last car on the lead lap, but he is struggling about 3 seconds off of Clinton Engel for the 16th place spot. So Mains is gonna be catching them, one at a time, which is not too difficult to deal with.
Oh man, nothing screams iRacing more than lapping a torn up car with anime girls on it. Scariest place to be. Anywhere on the track,
man.
with the 18 keeping it out of the way, going up against the wall. Classy move.
It's still not the worst paint scheme I've seen on a racing game, or not the most outlandish. I remember back in the NASCAR 09 days. So I would have been about 11 years old, somewhere around there. They had the paint booth, right, where you could download other people's paints. And little 10 or 11-year-old me didn't know what Playboy was, and that was the title of one of these. One of these cars, and I downloaded it, and I had the wrong idea of what Playboy was for a long time after that because it was a man spread eagle right in front on the and so I thought for the longest time it was the other the different type of there our producer says Playgirl. That would have been a better
So here's my question.
Better name for it, but yeah, I was scarred there for a little bit after that.
You had to grab the Kleenex on that one, I'm sure.
I've been comparing myself ever since to that man.
That's a mental image I did not need, nor did anybody at home, as we got a 3-wide battle right now between Mathis up there at the top. Oh, a little bit of fence. He's going to get in front of Frost here, though.
Mathis up to 6. Frost is hurting. Oh, contact with Wickett. Wickett getting shoved out of the groove a little bit with that little bit of contact to the back of the 17. Maybe just a little bit of a twitchy moment there for Blair Wickett as he's falling outside of the top 10.
Mathis sideways.
Mathis had done such a good job getting in front of these guys, and now he's giving it all back. Stuck on the bottom side. Can he keep the spot over the 17? He's got the inside groove, but I just feel like the outside's where you want to be, unless you just drive it in like that, I suppose. Mathis just about half slider there. Going to clear himself, get himself back into 7th.
The good news for Mathis is the guys behind him, Frost, Mogard, both very clean drivers. Let him get himself back into it, get back into the rhythm. You know, didn't take it too aggressive there and put everybody in a bad situation.
Remains stretched out the lead to about 0.7 of a second. We're nearing the third of the way mark. Yeah, we're nearing it, I suppose. So we're going to go ahead and take our first commercial break of the B Open. Whenever we come back, more green flag racing, hopefully.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday night top split. We got the B Open live, and we finally got a green flag run. I cannot believe it.
Stop talking.
But I'm loving it.
Don't say
worried,
anything.
Are you worried I'm going to have the Sheldon jinx? The Sheldon curse? Well, they're
Possibly.
side by side for second right now, and they're not wrecking yet.
Yeah, big shakeup right now. Kwame Scott falling into the clutches of Justin Smith. Smith gonna get the position here coming out of turn 4. Moves Smith up to P2.
Those Conti cars might have some long run pace. Smith is moving right now.
Kwame's falling back pretty hard right now. He's under fire from Mathis now.
Mathis down to the inside, moving himself into the top 3. What a run from Chris Mathis. After he almost binned this thing a couple laps ago, he's fighting for 3rd now with a guy in the Contender Series.
Yeah, that's got to be a good feeling for Mathis, right? Another gun.
And Velasquez right here on the outside. He's, again, I said the Conti cars might have some long run pace. Velasquez got up to about 5th and then just kind of sat there. He's looking to get to the outside of Mathis as Mathis is still trying to get to the inside. Side by side for 4th, side by side for 6th. As Armstrong and Mogart are swapping positions back and forth right here through 1 and 2. Mogart are a little loose. Mathis a little loose on the inside up here for 4th. Or sorry, for 4th. That lets Velasquez get through, and now Velasquez is all over the back bumper of Kwame Scott for 3rd.
Velasquez, oh, big slide on the bottom for Velasquez. Going to give up a lot of time there to Kwame. Going to let Kwame kind of cool himself off just a little bit, but not quite, though, because Velasquez is charging back hard again.
Well, Velasquez under fire from Mathis now. Can Velasquez hang on? Going to be keeping that thing to the outside of the racetrack, just trying to cool those tires off after that big slide. This fighting has allowed Justin Smith to get away, and Justin is actually reeling in our race leader.
Yeah, Justin's looking really strong right now. And this lap traffic's going to play into his hand, too. Oh, a little bit of contact with the wall up there in front of him. 14 of Murcott.
Well, yeah, now that he's working through this lap traffic, it's actually hurting him. He's already lost 0.4 of a second behind these guys. Looking at the bottom of... Oh, man, the 14 in the fence again. This time, really in the fence out of turn number 2. Still in the fence.
Something happened between...
Oh, Murcott's right front is almost destroyed.
Something happened between Frost and Murcott there. Frost is mad. Oh, yeah, lap 84.
Oh, these guys are going crazy back here. Lap car in the mix. Frost on the outside of the racetrack. Velasquez trying to get through on the inside. They're still crying on the chat. I can tell you right now, they're losing their minds on the chat. Thank God the serial protester isn't here, or else we'd have 2 of them in the holler.
Murcott, if you go back to lap 84, we can get the replay of that by chance. Oh, yeah. Oh, there we go. That's what happens when I'm looking at 2 different tabs. Petition to get me monitors. You're going to see the 14 get down to the inside of the 17 here. It's going to pull kind of a crazy slide in front of the 17.
I mean, how many times are we going to see this before guys stop pulling up in front of people with the run out of the corner? It doesn't work. It doesn't work. It just does not work. Not here. The speed for the top side is just way higher than the bottom. Yeah, you can be clear, but you're not going to be clear for very long, right? You gotta leave a little bit more space if you don't have the move completely done. And yeah, you're clear, but you're not even giving them a chance to either slow up for you or pull down to the inside if it's that tight.
It's too dicey of a move. I mean, you ever get into the later stages of this thing, but also just really, they're running about a lap down. Does it really matter to be racing that hard when you got the leaders that close to you? That's kind of a...
Well, I guess they're fighting for the lucky dog, right? So I guess it does kind of matter.
Lucky dog's important and all, but it's not important when you don't get the lucky dog because you and the other guy wrecked and took the leader out.
Yeah, ultimately it was Mathis that got Murcott that got the bad end of the stick on that one, and he's the one that pulled the slider. I feel like it was just, yeah, he got hit in the back bumper, right? Don't get me wrong, he got hit in the back bumper, but you're not really giving the guy behind any opportunity to do anything different. Like, I don't know, they're expecting the room off the corner or at least some time to be able to make the undercut whenever it's that late of a move with them having that much more speed on you. You're asking a lot of the guy behind. You are asking a lot of them.
Man, these guys are still fighting in the driver chat right now.
Are they really?
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. Well, Murcott's come back out on the racetrack, so hopefully they don't find each other anytime soon.
He said something about you won't be finishing any better than, I think, 15. So.
Oh boy.
Oh
boy. We might need the serial protester in here.
Yeah. Somebody wake them up. Get them off. Get them off here. They're gonna be wrecking.
Velasquez is starting to slide, though. I think he might have chewed up those tires. He's gone all the way back to 9th place, losing a position to Jared Bogard now. So some of the tire wear is starting to kind of come into factor here.
One guy that isn't slipping. Surprise, surprise. Garrett Main's up there pulling that lead on Smith in 2nd place. Almost up to 3 seconds now. Almost forgot he was in here with all the drama going on in the back of the pack.
And I don't think we're done with the drama. I really don't. I'm just waiting on a couple drivers to come together, and they're close to each other on the racetrack. Mr. Producer, if you would like to, there we go. Let's just see. You know, I know the 14 is on new tires.
Oh, and here he is, all over the back bumper of Frost. Frost will get out of the way. Smart move. 14 will dive down to the bottom. Not going to be able to connect it the way he needs to. He'll slide in front of him with a little bit more room, though.
Nobody peeling off the
really
racetrack
smart.
just in front of these guys. So it looks like there's going to be no issues between these two for now.
This time.
But we'll wait and see.
Yeah, if you say you're going to wreck somebody, man, go on ahead and do it. Give us something to talk about.
Well, I mean, if somebody does protest you, it's a slam dunk one, right? I mean, if you say it over the chat and then you go out and do it, I mean, it's like NASCAR recently with these penalties. If you say you're going to do something, then you do it, they're going to slap you with a big fat penalty. You can't telegraph it. You can't telegraph it.
In between people talking about wrecking each other, fighting, and your childhood trauma, it's been an exciting night for Bristol.
Oh, man. Oh, that was a good one, Sheldon. I love you. Oh, no, the 10!
No,
the 10 just about gets spun on the front straightaway. What a save! What a save! How in the world does he hang on to that thing?
And he didn't wreck. He took a joker lap.
Holy cow! How in the world is he still going in the right direction? Cody Dahl, what the heck, man? How did you hold on to that one, bud?
It was insane. I thought that was going to be our 12th caution of the day.
It just about feels like it. We're gonna get a replay of that one because that was really good. I can't not believe that he hung on to that. He got a little tap from Clinton Ingle from behind as he's trying to make a move on Schmidt.
Clinton a little aggressive here.
Oh,
Look at his hands. There we go. Gotta get my Rick Allen move in.
That's fantastic. Great job there, Cody Dahl. I mean, you didn't have much to work with, and somehow you saved that thing. Great job.
Aggressive goes around.
I don't know if he was aggressive there, right?
He wasn't. The guy behind him was, though.
You know, that was the same track as what we were just at.
Yep,
and the real life call this week was a whole heck of a lot better than aggressive goes around.
Yes, it was. Man, we nailed it last week. We kind of sucked tonight, but we were great last week.
No, I'm talking about the real world call. Lee Diffie.
Oh, Lee Diffie? Oh, I thought you were talking about us.
I mean, we were good on Monday.
Sorry, that's my ego inflated.
Oh yeah, it seems to be.
And Diffie is the best call that NASCAR has made.
Yeah, NBC is actually trying. I would like to thank the entire NBC team for actually enjoying the sport, liking the sport, and wanting to see it succeed. Unlike a particular other broadcast company that does not want to see the sport succeed.
Why are you talking about him in third person? It's Fox, man. We crap on Fox.
Because everybody knows who we're talking about anyway. It doesn't really matter, right? Everybody knows that Fox sucks, right?
Yeah.
Everybody.
We talk about how shit Fox is every week.
Yeah, you're not wrong. It's kind of the easiest joke to pile on them. They haven't even broadcasted for half a year, it feels like, and we're still crapping on them any chance we get. The 17 way slow again on the outside, letting these lead lap cars go by. Hoping to not have any more issues like the Fox broadcast.
I will say, kind of left field, that 7 machine, that Valvoline car of Alexander Tessier, that is one of the coolest looking paint schemes I've seen in a while.
He's doing really well, right? Ran from 15th up to 6th in the Mark Martin tribute paint scheme. I'm a big fan.
It's not so much a Mark. It's a.
I agree, David. Bring back
really...
Digger. Digger was great.
Oh God! Just don't bring back the damn commercial, the cartoons, and.
I liked it, man. Of course, I was a kid at the time, so I liked it. But man,
that was
Digger
one of the things.
cool.
Between Digger and the damn COT, I stopped watching for like 6 or 7 years.
Hey, man, Digger is still way better than. The new stuff they try nowadays, like the Superman graphics.
Oh, here he goes.
Contact. Oh, no, Mathis is going to go around in 1 and 2. What
no, he's not.
a save again. Unbelievable.
And apologies from the 7 machine there. Backed out, man. He could have absolutely killed Mathis there. He saw that he'd messed up, got him loose, squirreled him up, rolled out of it, and let him get himself straight. And that's what we don't see enough of these days, man. The give and take and the respect among some of these drivers on here is amazing.
Yeah, Gaggy Swan, Garrett is kind of cooking right now up at the front of the field. 4-second lead that Garrett has pulled over the rest of the field so far, and the longest green flag run so far.
Man, where'd they dig Gage from? I ain't seen that dude in years.
If you join our Madden league, you'd see him every day.
Yeah, but football, I'm
Understandable.
good. Something about men in tights squatting in front of me ain't my cup of tea.
Yeah, we talked about that enough earlier on that hood of that NASCAR 09 paint scheme, right? Except there were no tights. I can confirm there were no tights.
I'm sure you're just wishing you could have custom, design jerseys and everything. Just roll the legs up a little bit.
Oh, God. Oh, we really do go off the rails in the B Open, but it makes it almost a little bit more fun. It's like it's GridVision after dark whenever the B Open comes around.
Gomez running a pretty quiet race right now up here in the 4th spot. We've only talked about him one time with that incident earlier. He's carved himself up to a nice position, doing a really good job maintaining pace, saving tires. I mean, everything you got to do here at Bristol, he's done it so far tonight.
Well, we said this last week with him, right, at Watkins Glen. He's basically Mr. Consistency in the B Open. When do you ever see him not, top 5, top 10? I just feel like that's where he runs all the time.
Really respectable driver at the same time. Doesn't go out and stir too much drama. It's caught up in other people's
Earlier, he
messes.
immediately apologized, and it was very light contact.
And it wasn't even contact that happened, because we had confirmation that it was net. Kwame really tight with the 19 machine of Velasquez there.
It's Justin Smith that he's
My
fighting
bad.
for second.
My eyes have lost me. Kwame, is he coming back?
I just think that Smith might have burned off those tires. I don't know if Kwame's any faster or if Smith is just kind of blown through that right rear a little bit. He's looking a little twitchy. Oh, Kwame into the fence.
Slight little grace for Kwame, but nothing that matters too much. This thing's pretty rigid on the right side. Not as rigid as the Cup cars, but you can get away with a little bit of that.
The gap kind of extending out once again. But we are well over the 2/3 mark of this race, so we're going to go ahead and take our final commercial break of the racing action. When we come back, we're going to go to the checkered flag all the way through. Stay with us.
Racing isn't easy, but experiencing it is. iRacing puts you in the driver's seat with the industry's leading sim racing game. Drive on laser scan replicas of the greatest racing circuits from around the world. Go head-to-head against other drivers chosen by skill-based matchmaking to ensure competitive racing at every level. Compete across all your favorite series. In officially licensed cars, engineered to deliver the most accurate driving experience possible. Join a race or host your own with players from across the globe. Race against the computer or in a league with friends. Feel the thrill behind the wheel. Visit iRacing.com.
Welcome back to the Ryco Performance Monday Night Top Split B Open. We had a little bit of a yellow, and that scares me because typically, especially from what we've seen earlier in this race, if you bunch up the cars one time, we're going to have to bunch up the cars a lot of times. Looking at Chris Frost coming down into turns 3 and 4, or sorry, turns 1 and 2. Getting down to the middle, just getting a little twitchy, running up the racetrack and lost the back end, spun her out. Everybody did a great job getting through. That was Gomez on the bottom side of the racetrack, keeping his car nice and clean. A couple more skating through on the outside. So good job, everybody, avoiding the solo car spin. We're going to be coming to 26 laps to go. Garrett Maines still up in the race lead. Kwame Scott, Justin Smith, Joe Armstrong is your top 4. Green flag is flying. Garrett Maines back to the gas. We're racing once again. He's easily clear of second place before we get down to turn number 1. Garrett Maines looking to set sail as Kwame's just trying to hold on to second, but he gets loose out of turn 2 and hands it over to Justin Smith.
Yep. Side-by-side battle for second place right now. Smith to the bottom. He's going to get P2. Kwame going to tie back down the bottom. Dead sideways. Great save.
Oh,
that could have been a huge, huge wreck. And all in front of the 11.
Field.
Also, one thing I want to note, take a look at Garrett Maines real quick. That right rear quarter panel, he's got that thing folded in pretty heavy. Oh, yeah, that's more than the slight crease that you get from a little bit of contact. He hit something hard, or something hit him, because that thing is just pinned in there.
That make that thing a little looser?
It's going to, because these things don't really have a whole lot of side force these days. Since we went with the straight squared off bodies, once you take that right rear and kick that thing in, it does model the loss of side force, and that could be a huge problem for him going in on this tire run.
Still got more side force than the A car, so and that's his normal race car. So maybe it feels a little bit more normal to what he typically runs. So maybe it'll help him out a little bit. But man, this is a gaggle of cars back here. Clinton Engel leading the way of them in 6, but man, they're 2 by 2 behind him. Everybody just fighting for space. Mogard trying to wrap through and take 7.
Mogard having a really good night as well. Nice and quiet, no real big issues. Looking good up here in 7th. Right now we're watching Chris Mathis as he falls into the clutches of the 7 machine. That beautiful 3D Valvoline.
Oh! Engel goes for a slide. He somehow keeps it out of the inside wall. The yellow's going to fly, and it looks like everybody's going to get by. What a save, man. We've seen some of the best saves I've seen on iRacing. There are like 3 or 4 of them tonight. I mean, what in the world is going on?
There you go. So I got a little bit of a shot from Mogard there. Yep. Tries to come up, cover the hole. Mogard's not really there. But he hits.
It's the same thing we've been seeing, though.
I think he hit that spot right there where, he's got the damage on the right rear quarter panel. Just, you can't necessarily slide it back up there in front of the guy when he's got that much of a run, because it's so hard for you to jump out of it if you're the following car.
It's such a weird one because you are clear, right? Like, he is clear, but we've seen this 4 times tonight. The car on the inside's clear, but you can't expect to be clear coming off the corner if they're that close, because they run so much quicker. I know I've beaten a dead horse with it, but we've seen it time and time again. I have a hard time blaming the car on the inside for all of these, because it is different than just about every other track. But I mean, it's just the difference in speed is too great. You just can't pull across somebody's nose.
I mean, it's just absolutely one of those racing deals. The
Yeah.
guy up top could give a little bit. The guy on the bottom could, not throw it up there when he knows that guy's going to have that run. But at the same time, the guy on the bottom is throwing a heavy block to try and cover that run, to choke the guy behind him off so that he can get down into the next corner without having to race side by side with him.
Well, and if we were in the next gen car, it wouldn't matter, right? Because they have so much grip that little bit of contact wouldn't do jack shit, right? It wouldn't do anything at all. So I get it, but we're in the B car, and just any bit of contact coming out of these corners as the car's unloading is going to cause some issues. But we're going to go ahead and get a look at our weekly schedule so we don't have to do it after the race. Cut out a little bit of the post race for you guys. But Thursday night, from the Daytona International Speedway, we got the High Slide Thursday Night Truck Series at 8:20 p.m. Eastern. Friday night, right back here at Bristol Motor Speedway for some more Ryco Performance Friday night top split. It's going to be at 9 p.m. Eastern. And then Saturday, Brands Hatch for the Major Series. That's going to be from 9 p.m. Eastern all the way until 6 a.m. the next morning, I believe. So long race there for the Major Series.
Actually, with this race running long, you're going to want to catch
Excuse me. I was thinking that was a through sign, not a 6 p.m. Pacific. My bad. It starts at 6 p.m. Pacific, guys. My fault.
Gosh.
Yeah. It'll be 2.5 hours. So not quite the endurance race that I thought it was going to be.
I will say that with this race, this race running long, you know, you might want to have to get ready to switch over because I didn't know I was pregnant, supposed to be coming on at slotted time.
What?
So, you know how I tried to make a joke and I bombed it. Okay, I'm terrible. You know, if Fox does that crap where if it runs late, they just cancel post race altogether.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go. I didn't want to have to explain it.
See, if you would have been like Family Guy's coming on or something like that, I kind of would have got it because it's Fox.
I don't know. I don't know what plays on Fox anymore, man.
Okay, well, Family Guy's been playing on Fox for 25 years, so it was a pretty safe bet.
Jesus, 25
But either way, we're gonna
years
have
of cutaway jokes.
We're gonna have 14 laps to go. Yeah, same Timmy Vision. Yeah, that's look. Sometimes you listen to me and Sheldon talk, and you just don't understand what's going on. I don't understand what's going on sometimes. That's just the nature of the beast, especially for the B Open, and especially when we've had so many cautions. But either way, 14 laps to go at the line. Garrett Maines up in the race lead still. Garrett gets the better jump. Back to the gas, back to the green flag. Clears fifth before we get down into turn number 1. And everybody blinked away for a second, but Maines is clear coming down into turn number 2. The 7 is not. Him and Matthew is going spinning. Justin Smith gets turned down into 3. Comes back across the racetrack, kills the outside wall, and destroys Brandon Schmidt.
Oh my God. Terrible, terrible break for Smith. I think the caution came from something further in the pack. But, I mean, this takes precedence. Just slides up, tries to block the run. Same thing that we've seen every caution tonight.
Kwame apparently had the same blinking issue as we had there coming down to 1. He said he couldn't see anybody until they were already coming out of 2. And by the time that they made contact was whenever they were blinking back in to where he could see people. But still a tough break for Brandon Schmidt. Oh my gosh.
There was a serious server issue coming into that restart.
Yeah. That's an understatement. Holy crap, that was some netcode. What the heck was that?
No, there was a serious server issue. You see everybody blink right here.
Okay, Tim, that's funny. The Q cutaway, that's funny as hell right there. I got to give you credit for that one. The cutaway stuff in Family Guy kills me, man. But
that's
holy cow, that was the big server issues. I don't know what to tell you. That was some of the biggest netcode I have seen in a long time. That wasn't obviously just one guy's internet, right? We saw it in A Open, how it was one guy's internet. There, that was just the server. That was the server completely laying an egg.
Somebody up there at iRacing headquarters must have hit the wrong damn light switch. So they just lost everything for a second there.
Holy cow. That was bad. Very, very clear server issue there. And, a couple of, Brandon and Justin are a little upset with Kwame, and I totally understand where they're coming from. And they said that he didn't disappear on their screen on the replay. But everybody had an issue going down to 1 and 2 with the server, and I think that it took a couple people a little bit longer to get back from that issue. We got our cars back pretty immediately, but you could tell from the initial wreck that happened, that was obviously a server issue still. But I think Kwame's cars just took a little bit longer to come back for him to the racetrack. So I don't know. That was.
I mean, it was so quick.
That was bad.
Everything blinked out, and then by the time they come out, it turned into turn 2 to come to load up for exit, everybody comes back. So I don't think Kwame had any opportunity to really brace himself for a potential incident there. Here we are looking back at it again. And, it could have been different on his end too, because, yeah, there we go.
The big server issue, and obviously everybody's still having it because Schmidt just destroys the 7, and Schmidt didn't even come close to touching him. And obviously it continued on for Kwame, and I'd be willing to bet other people had similar issues. I don't know what to tell you on that one. I mean, I said it in the A Open. You come out of these big iRacing updates, and something's going to be broken after every single one for a couple weeks. It's just how it's been the last couple updates. So just got to get used to it, I suppose.
Such a tough break for Smith because he was so fast, ran so good all night, didn't make a single mistake at any point, and just get caught up in that.
I feel bad for the 7, man. I mean, who was that really? Chris Mathis got involved in it too. Alex Tessier in the SimStamp 7, or excuse me, Custom 7. But Garrett Maines back to the gas. 8 laps to go this time by. He's clear of Kwame Scott. One less competitor up at the front of the field after that issue with Justin Smith that has taken him out of the running here. And back to the back of the lead lap. And Garrett Maines clear for the race lead side by side for third. Mogard is just going to fall off to fourth. Trying to find a hole on the outside still of Armstrong, but not quite able to do it. Pretty close racing between him and Blair Wickett, too, for fourth.
Everybody single file up here, up at the immediate front. Right now you see Gomez trying to dive that thing down to the bottom of 3 and 4, not able to make it stick. You see Velasquez get dead loose down the front straightaway.
Coming out of turn number 2, Mogard on the inside, could not quite clear the 97. They make contact through 3 and 4, just a little bit of dooring through the corner. Mogard's going to end up losing 2 positions more than likely as Blair Wickett goes by around the outside, and now Velasquez has that preferred outside groove whenever you're side by side. Like they are right now, the outside's where you want to be, and right now Velasquez has it, looking to get himself back into the top 5.
Yeah, at this point, just a handful of laps. Don't really have to worry about tire wear or anything for the rest of this thing. Send the thing up against the wall, see if it sticks, charge as hard as you can. That's where you want to be right now.
Well, Maines is definitely twitchy up in the race lead. He's giving up a little bit of time to Kwame. Over the course of the last couple corners, Maines drove the outside line like he has not done all night through 3 and 4 last time by. Gave Kwame an opportunity. This time they're going to swap lanes coming down to the turn 3. Coming to 2 laps to go this time by. Can Kwame get the run off the top of the racetrack and close in the gap back down to Garrett Maines over the course of the last 2 laps?
Kwame running the top of the track, bringing it down the hill, trying to build the momentum to get to the bumper. Maines, but no dice right now. Maines so strong. Kwame going to dive it down to the bottom and try and close that gap a little bit. Coming down the front straightaway. 1 to go.
1 lap to go this time by. Garrett Maines down into 1 and 2. He's running the middle groove. Kwame Scott way up high, trying to build up some speed. What can Kwame do down into turn number 3? Can he get enough of a run off? I don't think it's meant to be. Garrett Maines coming out of turn number 4. He's going to go 2 for 2 on the night and sweep the Ryco Performance Monday night top split from Bristol.
Get the broom out.
A lot of hurt feelings in the driver's chat here tonight, to say the least. The one guy not upset is the one doing burnouts right now. Garrett Maines going 2 for 2 on the night, celebrating on the front stretch. As he does that, we're going to take our final abbreviated commercial break of the night. Whenever we come back, we're going to try to interview our top 3. Welcome back to the conclusion of the Ryco Performance Monday night top split here from the Bristol Motor Speedway. We're going to go through our full field rundown real quick as we have just finished up the B Open. Garrett Maines, Kwame Scott, Joe Armstrong, your top three here tonight. Charles Velasquez Jr. in fourth, Blair Wiggett in fifth, Jared Mogard sixth, Adriano de Aguilar Gomez in seventh, Eddie Rose eighth, Cody Dahl in ninth, and Clinton Engel rounds out the top 10.
11th place, we got Justin Smith, followed by 12th place, Alexander Tessier. 13th place is going to be Chris Mathis with Chris Frost in 14th. 15th is going to be Dylan Marcotte with Thomas Horvath in 16th. 17th is going to be Brandon Schmidt. Ava Ludwig is going to be 18th. 19th, Nate Nicholson, followed by Ricky Udding, running at your top 20.
21st, Ryan Philbrick. 22nd, John Williams. 23rd, Nolan Hodgson. And 24th is Matt White. That's going to round out the 24-car field here tonight. And it looks like we've only got our race winner to interview tonight. I don't believe we have Kwame or Joe in the Discord waiting. So we're going to go ahead and pull up Garrett Maines to give him a second interview of the night, second race win interview of the night, and fourth in a row for the Ryco Performance Monday and Friday night top split. Garrett, two very uneventful races from the from your driver's seat, I would say. What was was there anything more difficult in the B Open than the A Open, or were you just kind of waiting for those cautions to finish up so you could get some green flag racing in the early going?
No, shoot. I mean, it's kind of an adjustment. I haven't done the B car in a while, and honestly, the last time I did kind of scarred me, so I was a little hesitant to get back. But I didn't know what to expect getting into it. I made a mistake in qualifying. I mean, Kwame put together a really good lap, but I was going to be right there with it, and just basically was going to nail the apron because I underdrove the corner. So real smooth there. But yeah, I mean, I didn't know what we had car-wise. I mean, Brandon did a phenomenal job putting this car together. I mean, I say it every time. The Ryco has had the car to beat every time I've jumped in, especially in the Cup car, but again, tonight in the B car. Yeah, I mean, once we got like 20 laps into that run, our long run pace was insane, and I was able to just kind of run wherever I wanted and, find pace wherever the track had it. So no complaints from me for sure. It was a good, intro back to the B car, and hopefully I'll be able to work with those guys more coming up here and get ready for contender, because that's probably where I'm headed.
Oh no, that's not a good thing to hear. But either way, good luck in that going forward. But Garrett, the two races tonight, you led probably 98% of the laps. If I had to just spitball a number, somewhere up to that level. So you were talking about Ryco. Just speak to the dominance that those sets bring for y'all, right? I mean, it just seems like you're able to run up front week in, week out, no matter what you're running, no matter what car, no matter what track. You seem to be up towards the front of the field. If not in the top three, you're up in if not in the race winning position, you're up in the top three week in, week out. So just tell us about it a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, those guys, I think for the Cup car, they put like 3,000 laps in. I mean, it's not really even that surprising that we had a good car, but I mean, those guys are putting the work in. They know what they're doing, and it's really nice to be able to hop in. And some weeks I'm able to put my input in. Some weeks, like, they carry the weight. I unload with a piece to win. So it's part of being on the team, but it's really nice to be able to to trust that. I mean, there's so many guys over there that, like, you can trust their feedback, that their hard work pays off, and it shows.
Well, Garrett, congratulations once again on going for 2 for 2 tonight. It was a fantastic drive in both races from you. I know we've heard it time and time again, and I should probably be able to rattle off all your sponsors myself by this point, but who do you have to thank for us?
Yeah, I got to give another shout out to Scott at MCU Body, Lennox, the guys at Ryco Performance again, FGR XL, and Left Court Brothers. It's always nice to be able to, to already recite that. You know what's coming.
Exactly. Me and Sheldon were joking about it in between the races. We were like, we need to just figure out what it is exactly, and we can just rattle them off for you during the interview. But Garrett, congratulations on winning both races. Looking forward to seeing if you can make it a perfect 3 for 3 on Friday night.
I won't be here. It's really disappointing. I'm actually racing Summit Point this weekend. This is one of the races I really like, so it's disappointing to miss the 500. But I'll be here Wednesday if you want to broadcast that one.
Oh, man. Well, I think I might have a prior commitment, but we'll have to wait and see. But either way, congrats again, Garrett. Looking forward to seeing what you can do next week then. See if you can make it 5 in a row here in the Ryco Performance races.
Appreciate it, guys. Thanks.
All right. That was your race winner, Garrett Maines. He won both races here tonight from the Bristol Motor Speedway. But that's going to do it here from us at GridVision. Sheldon, what did you think of the 2 races here tonight?
I love the Monday night Garrett Maines series. I mean,
Hey, at least we get to watch somebody else win on Friday, right?
yeah, right. Nah, man. Garrett did a good job putting together 2 really solid races tonight. And, you know, these guys, they did great. You know, shame we got so many cautions on the second one, but finally got together, got the thing done, and we need to get iRacing to fix this netcode issue though, because that was pretty rough.
Yeah, that was a little sketchy there at the end of the B Open. A couple big issues that hopefully will get ironed out by the time that we actually get those, the big races in later this week. Because like Garrett said, it is the big 500 lap race at Bristol this week. So it's a big deal. We'll be broadcasting second split as iRacing takes the top split duties for the big events. So we're looking forward to giving a couple of those second split guys a run at the broadcast, kind of show off another section of the iRacing service that may not get highlighted too often. So it's going to be cool to see a couple of those guys, see who can win that thing in the second split on Friday. That is going to do it here from us at GridVision. And from the entire GridVision team, we'd like to thank you for watching and participating in the chat. For more information on getting your league broadcasted or starting your career in broadcasting, contact us on Facebook, X, or email us at info@gridvision.live. Congratulations to Garrett Maines on winning tonight's races from Bristol Motor Speedway. This has been Austin Edstrom standing alongside Sheldon Atkins and Austin Derbyshire. We'll see you next time on The Grid.